Live from Rockford High School, what a ball game we got tonight. The OK Red Conference Championship on the line. The Rockford Rams, one of the best teams in the state, taking on the undefeated Caledonia Fighting Scots. Evan Stockton, Justin Cessante alongside you. We'll hear from Brooke Fletcher in just a little bit. Justin, this is such a great ball game, we may as well just wait a few more minutes for it. We had some really nasty weather in the area when we rolled into town a couple hours ago. As you can see on the screen right now, it is gorgeous, but when we got here, looked like that. That's why we're not playing football right now. Track is drying out. It is going to be a beautiful night for football here in Rockford. Just got to wait a few more minutes for it when we do get this ball game started, Justin. This is one of the best games across our great state tonight, and it really is going to be a great contrasting styles in this game, power against power. I know you can't wait.
No, this is how football is supposed to be played, and the game of football starts in the trenches. One of the matchups we're going to want to watch tonight is the O-line of Caledonia versus the D-line of Rockford. You got a big, massive offensive line for Caledonia. You got a more smaller athletic line for the Rockford Rams. And, you know, they have to protect the two stars of this game, Zach Ahren and Mason McKenzie. So we want to see those guys really get to doing what they do. And, you know, you feel for the kids a little bit. They've been taken out of routine. They have to wait. This has been a big build-up, a lot of hype, and you definitely feel for them for a little bit, but that's part of the football game, adversity and sudden change. And definitely looking to this game to come down to special teams, penalties, and who cannot turn over the ball.
You brought up an excellent point. Neither team has warmed up yet, right? In your coaching background, how do you get a team ready to play in a game like this? Look, they're amped up. This game is on TV. Both of these teams are undefeated. I got to wait basically an hour to play the game. How are you getting them mentally sharp, mentally still locked in, even though we're not going to play for another hour or so when the game was supposed to start?
Yeah, you don't want them to go on an emotional roller coaster. You know, you want to make sure that you cover some bases, cross the T's, dot the I's, make sure the kids are staying quiet and focused, and let it build up to the beginning of the game. Really just want to get them out here, get them warmed up so they can get back to some normalcy. We
are excited for one of the games of the week in our great state of Michigan. Caledonia, Rockford, 6-0 against 6-0. The mighty OK Red Conference Championship is on the line. It's going to be a gorgeous night for ball. We just got to make sure all the weather passes through the area. We'll be back in just a little bit. For now, we toss it to programming. Destination Polaris coming up in a moment on Bally Sports. All right, we're back at Rockford High. Unfortunately, the update we have for you, not great. Kickoff has been pushed back again. The rain has pretty much stopped, but unfortunately, we're still getting some lightning strikes in the area. And of course, MHSA protocol, we want to make sure we're safe and sound at all times. Still getting some weather around the area, so kickoff has been pushed back again. Evan Stockton, Justin Cessante alongside you again. Justin, how hard is this as a coach, as a player, to just kind of sit around and wait and wonder when we actually get to play this game?
Yeah, you really feel for the kids. It's Rockford's homecoming. There's been a huge build-up to this game, and you're on an emotional roller coaster right now. You have to get up, you think you're about to start warm-ups, and then you have to really come back down. And you feel for the coaching staff, you feel for the football players, and really this game gets kicked off tonight. It's going to be about who has the most mental toughness.
Now, we are really looking forward to this game, obviously. It's maybe the premier game in the state of Michigan this week. The OK Red Conference Championship is on the line tonight, but it's a football Friday across the state of Michigan. That means there are a lot of big games going on across the state. Let's get a look. How about that score? Fortson is taking it to Livonia Churchill. I know it's early, but they're up 2 scores early.
Yeah, Fortson obviously has some great skill guys, Antonio Gates Jr., but I saw Fortson play against Canton earlier this year, and they're extremely physical up front. So I know Livonia Churchill, when I got a chance to see them, got a lot of great skill players, so I think that game's getting determined up front.
Yeah, Antonio Gates Jr. is a whale of a player. We saw him on Bally Sports earlier this year. The Battle of Muskegon, Big Reds and Sailors knotted at 7. Those are going to be 2 teams, Justin, we may see down the road at Ford Field. They're 2 great programs.
Yeah, I don't know what they do in Muskegon, but they always turn out great talent and great teams. So we're going to see a battle down the road here right now, and really looking forward to see what the outcome of that game is.
Apparently shirts are optional for the Caledonia Fighting Scots as we wait for this ball game tonight. Big game going on in Novi, a game that interests many of you. Detroit Catholic Central and Orchard Lake St. Mary's knotted at 0. That's a big game in the Catholic League Central, Justin. Really big game for CC, who lost last week to De La Salle. The Pilots have been the class of D2 all year.
Yeah, coming off a big loss against De La Salle, Detroit CC really has to get back on track and get some momentum towards the playoffs. And St. Mary's CC is always a great rivalry, and you can really throw the records out.
And, you know, Romeo, it seems like every year just flies under the radar in the state of Michigan. You got some big boys every single year. Tight one going on against Stevenson right now in the first quarter. Nothing ball game.
This is a trap game for Stevenson. They just came off a huge win against Chippewa Valley, coming out against unranked Romeo. There's a lot of rivalry there still, so we'll see what happens. That game's going to be an interesting one.
Always fun for us to keep an eye on everything going on across the state. Here's your rankings presented by our friends at State Champs. When we do get this one kicked off in Rockford, we're going to see the number 3 Rams, Zach Ahern and their high-profile offense against a very, very good Caledonia team who is 6-0. Justin, when you look at the rest of that top 10, who else stands out to you amongst the 10 best in the state as it stands right now?
Yeah, I mean, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, I believe they lost their starting quarterback, so how they're going to bounce back from that. And Livonia Churchill right now is on the ropes against Fortson. DeWitt's been having a fantastic year, and we'll see how they end up.
Yeah, we saw them on Football Fridays a couple of weeks ago. Ty Holtz and the boys put up 50 points in the first half. Decent little performance against Grand Ledge a couple of weeks ago. So we're seeing Caledonia 5th ranked in Division II tonight, undefeated, 6-0. Man, there are some banner programs in there. We mentioned earlier De La Salle and the great year they're having. Obviously, Churchill is taking it on the chin early tonight. The team I like in Division II, Justin, Traverse City Central, who we saw on Football Fridays earlier this year. Josh Burnham is a whale of a player, and you can never, ever count out Mona Shores. That is an awesome program that Coach Koziak has built.
Yeah, and South Lyons having a great year as well, kind of sneaking up on people. And Warren De La Salle might have the best defensive line in the state. Saw them really get after Catholic Central last week, and we'll see how they end up in Division II.
Still waiting out the weather here in Rockford. We're expecting to get going right around 8:25. So go get another bite to eat. Go pour yourself another beverage. We're looking forward to football tonight from Rockford High, Caledonia, against the Rams, 2 of the best teams in the state, battling for the OK Red Conference Championship. We'll send it over to Focused, and we'll be back for football soon. We are back at Rockford High School, and we have got excellent news to report. We are coming up on kickoff. It's now scheduled for 8:45. The rain has stopped. My goodness, the crowd is still here, Justin Cessante. Those Caledonia Fighting Scots are walking into quite the environment. There's got to be at least 10,000 people here tonight.
I've never been so impressed by 2 football communities. I mean, they've been here since 6 o'clock. It was pouring rain. There's been lightning delays, and this place is packed, 10,000 plus, getting ready for Friday night lights. You got to love it.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. We got a battle for the OK Red Conference Championship tonight. They're actually doing the homecoming festivities right now because we've been delayed by so long. I guess we're not going to take a long time at halftime. We got to get the ball game in, so let's do homecoming right now. But I always enjoy watching this. This is one of those cool moments that you remember in high school for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of festivities, a lot of hype around this game. Really looking to the leaders of both teams, Mason McKenzie, Andrew DeVries, Aiden Kowach, to really have to rally their boys in right now, right? Refocus these guys, make sure you know what your goals are, make sure you attack it with intent, have a lot of focus, and come out here and do what you planned on doing. And for the Rockford Rams, you got Zach Ahern, you got Sam Watts. These guys really have to make sure that they're rallying these guys, making sure that they're getting focused and make sure they know what they want to do.
Those Fighting Scots are bouncing up and down. I'm sure they were doing a lot of that in the locker room getting ready for this game to finally start. Justin, here's how they've gotten here. Again, it's a 6-0 record, and you play a lot of good teams on the west side of Michigan. Wins against Granville, wins against Grand Haven, big win against West Ottawa last week. These Fighting Scots have been tested, and they've been playing darn good football all year.
No doubt about it, and just the durability of playing such a tough schedule, physical games, and you have 2 teams on these schedules that both teams played, Granville and East Kentwood. So very similar scores, and it's going to be very interesting how this matches up.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Rockford handles this delay, obviously with Caledonia as well. Caledonia told us as we prepared for this ball game this week, we bring the juice, man. Let's see what kind of juice Rockford can bring to counter that in front of a big hometown crowd tonight. The Rams are always good. They're good again this year, 6-0. And Justin, as you just alluded to, there's similar opponents on this schedule for Rockford. What do you take out of their season so far?
Rockford's battle-tested. I mean, opened up against Sterling Heights-Stevenson, who's having a phenomenal year. Cedar Springs, they haven't played them in decades. That was a big game, and went into double overtime, I believe, against Granville. So they're battle-tested. I think a lot of pressure is on Rockford. It's their homecoming. They've been a dominant team in the state for the last 20 years, and you know, it's going to be definitely interesting to see how they are mentally prepared after this long wait.
You know, Justin, one of the beauties of our Football Friday series this year is we have gone across the state. Of course, we've highlighted great teams in Metro Detroit, but we've gone up north to Traverse City, and we have the chance to come to the west side of the state this week. And, you know, talking to players, programs, coaches in this area, they feel sometimes that their style of football gets overlooked a little bit, and I am happy to watch these teams take the field. I'm happy we're here for this scene tonight because West Side football in Michigan is as good a football as you will see across the entire state.
No doubt. I lived out on the west side for 4 years during college, and I know about the west side of the state. I respect their football, and this is going to be an electric atmosphere, and it's going to be an exciting night.
Justin just alluded to it. This game was supposed to start about 2 hours ago. The fans are here. They are revved up. They've barely left their seats. The rain has been coming on down them for hours, but those students are ready. These players are ready. Thank goodness they're warming up, and thank goodness football is coming from Rockford High. What a ball game we will have. 6-0 against 6-0. The OK Red Conference Championship is on the line. Fighting Scots and Rams. One of those games that just makes your heart rate rise. One of those games that makes you want to strap on the pads all over again, man.
Strap off the helmets.
How can you not be excited for this? Zach Ahern is one of the best quarterbacks in this entire state. He's about to put on a show in front of a statewide stage. Caledonia and Rockford, kickoff coming soon. We're back in a moment on Bally Sports.
The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
Just a few miles southeast of Grand Rapids lies Caledonia High School, where the hometown Fighting Scots have charged out of the gates in 2021, playing their way to an unbeaten 6-0 start. But standing in their way on this Football Friday are the big kids on the block. The mighty Rockford Rams are the two-time defending conference champs, and they're unbeaten themselves, boasting the #3 overall ranking in the state of Michigan. These two West Side heavyweights go toe-to-toe under the lights in front of a sold-out crowd at Carlson-Munger Stadium in Rockford. The OK Red Conference title is on the line tonight, and it starts right now on Bally Sports. This is the game of the week in the state of Michigan. This is one of those games that makes you drool if you're a Michigan football fan. We have got a battle for the OK Red Conference Championship tonight. Rockford Rams against Caledonia Fighting Scots. Alongside Justin Cessante and the rest of our great Bally Sports crew, Evan Stockton with you. We'll check in with Brooke Fletcher in just a second. Justin, you and I used to both play in games like this. We want to strap on the pads right now, man. This is so cool.
This is Friday night in Michigan. Football, Rockford, Michigan, it's rocking, it's electric.
Absolutely awesome scene. We're going to have nearly 12,000 people here tonight. The Rockford Rams, spoiler alert, they're really good. Again, Zach Ahern, Justin. If you have not heard this name as a high school football fan in the state of Michigan, you're going to learn it tonight. This kid is a baller.
Zach Ahern is a phenomenal football player. He's a dual threat quarterback. 700 yards plus rushing, 17 touchdowns. He also has an extremely strong arm, 1,000 plus passing, 10 touchdowns. Evan, 27 touchdowns in 6 games. These are video game numbers.
They're absolutely absurd numbers what Zach Ahern is doing right now. On the other side, for the Caledonia Fighting Scots, they're having an excellent season themselves at 6-0. They have a pretty darn good signal caller themselves. Mason McKenzie can do a little bit of everything as well. He can throw it, he can run it with the best of them. And we know this, Justin, from following high school football in this state for many years. You got to have big boys to compete with Rockford. Caledonia has those big boys.
Yeah, it starts in the trenches, and they got some big boys. And Caleb Paulberg, 6'2", 250. Andrew DeVries, 6'3", 285. And it's going to start with the only two-way starters for the Caledonia football team. And they are going to have a huge responsibility not only to pressure Zach Ahern, but also to protect Mason McKenzie.
We cannot wait for this game tonight. Interesting circumstances on when this game is starting and the lead up to it. We go to Brooke Fletcher for more on that.
You guys are talking about what these players are dealing with on the field, but not to mention the crazy atmosphere. Playing at Rockford is one of the toughest environments to play in the state of Michigan, largely because of the large crowd that they draw in. These stands can hold up to 10,000 fans, and you best believe, even with the rain delay and lightning delay, that, hey, these stands are packed with fans. They're ready to go. But listen, Caledonia, they're used to playing in big environments like this. They had just as many fans in their stands, so they're ready for a big stage. Another factor that they have to deal with, you guys, is they're coming off an hour and 45-minute rain delay. I asked Coach Pennington, and he said, listen, look around. We're ready to go. We're ready to play. We're not letting the little rain and lightning hold us back. Now I'll toss it up to the booth for the national anthem. All right, we're just a few moments away from kickoff, but like I mentioned earlier, Coach Pennington, I asked him what that time was like in the locker room, and he said, well, we ran out of snacks, so they had to make a snack run, you guys. These boys are hungry, but they are fueled up. They are ready to go. Another factor that they have to deal with because of this rain delay, it is very slick on this field. I'm walking around here, so that is something that these boys are going to be challenged with, but we'll see how they overcome this during this game. Guys?
Brooke, thank you very much. We've been waiting darn near 2 hours for this. Justin Cessante, we have got a heck of a game on our way.
Yeah, you might have thought that this would have took a toll on them, but with the energy in this stadium right now, these boys are up and ready to go, and this might as well start at 7 o'clock.
Brett Cummings had to replace one of the greatest coaches in the history of the state of Michigan, the man who this stadium is named after, Ralph Munger. His boys absolutely love him, and what a job he has done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very excited to see what he's going to do with this program. Also brought on Jaster Vanderlaan, ex-NFL football player. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do with these boys, how creative they've been with the offense this year.
Connor Beach will kick it deep. The 5'10 senior for Caledonia. Standing back deep, Alex McLean and Mac Vandenhout. We've been waiting a long time for this one. How about we kick it off, everybody? Connor swings his right leg through it. This is a short bounding kick that dies at the 20, and Rockford has to fall on the football.
You have to believe there's a little strategy behind that. Pooch kick, make sure there's not a big return. Special games, 1/3 of the game, and you know it's going to play a factor tonight.
We know this guy's going to play a factor. Zach Ahern. Football fans across the state of Michigan are about to get an up-close and personal look at one of the finer quarterbacks this state has.
Yeah, and a tremendous leader. Put in the work in the offseason. You can see by the numbers that it's paying off.
His brother, Ryan Ahern, stands next to him in the shotgun on his left side. Zach gives to his brother Ryan. First play of the game, that's going nowhere. The big surge for the D-line for Caledonia starts it off the right way for the Fighting Scots. This Rockford offensive line is going to be tested today by the defensive line for Caledonia. As usual, the Rams have some big boys. Watch out for Harrison Sharp, the left tackle. He's 6'5", 285.
And you can see they try to get outside there right now, make this big defensive line run, and they did a good job of turning it back inside.
Ahern with time, tucks, runs, gets to the outside, tight ropes the sidelines, and he's awfully close to a first down. That is what he can do, escape the pocket and make some magic with his legs.
Yeah, key defensive play playing here right now. Get him off the field, key down to get the momentum from the crowd out of this game.
Back players for Caledonia on the D-line. Justin just touched on it in the open. Caleb Parlberg is quite the menace on the defensive line. Big boy at 250. Ahern with time, floating a beautiful ball down the middle. Incomplete and a flag out. Aiden Kowach matched up with Tyler Vroman, and Tyler wins the battle. This is a big PI call against Caledonia.
Yard penalty. First down. Yeah.
Rockford loves that motion. You're going to have to widen out the linebackers. You try to hit the seams, the skinny post. Right now, Vroman can take the top off of any defense. He is very fast, committed to Army. Correct, so he did a great job, and they had double coverage there, pass interference.
Now look, Derek Pennington, the head coach for Caledonia, when we talked to him a few days ago, he understood that this was going to be Rockford's game plan. Take the top off the defense. Tyler Vroman is a heck of a wide receiver, and that time Aiden Kowach literally had to tackle him.
Two receivers on each side, 2x2.
Zach wading his way away from one. Look at this magical play. Zach Ahern, you've got some pixie dust, my friend.
There's fantastic footwork here in the pocket. That should have been a tackle for loss. You see what kind of athlete he is. You got a simple QB lead here. Comes up, it gets bottled up. He bounces it outside.
Zach can make things happen. More things happening for Rockford. That is a hard count run to perfection.
We talked about special teams, turnovers, and penalties. We get an early penalty, keeping this drive alive for Rockford.
That's on Andrew DeVries, and that's not going to make the coaching staff for Caledonia happy. When you're playing Rockford, you can't commit penalties like that if you want to win the football game. Quick throw for Ahern. It's caught to McLean. Look at a speedster down the sidelines. Alex McLean first down. Rockford is chugging on their first drive of the game.
Talking to Coach Cummins earlier in the week, he wants to use this as an extended run, get his athletes in space, and that's exactly what they do. Great catch. Just a phenomenal catch by Alex McLean. He gets vertical right now. First down, move the chains.
Already knocking on the Caledonia red zone door. This run, plunging ahead for a couple. A great surge initially by the defensive line for Caledonia. That's Tyler Bird, the junior, with the initial rush.
Evan, I'll tell you what, this game is physical right off the bat. A little chippiness. Love to see it. Crosstown rivals. Let's go.
I mean, these boys have been waiting in the locker rooms for about 2.5 hours. They want to hit somebody. Come on now.
See here, it's a trips look, but they're keeping that a tight trips there to keep a max protection on the right side. So hypothetically, you might have a three-man route right here if they pass.
They will throw. Ahern spinning away from pressure. This is what he does. Ahern wrangled down by a whole host of Fighting Scots. That is how you bring a guy like that down. You got to swarm everybody to the football.
Ben Norris has been a factor on the outside all year. He was there, didn't make the tackle. You see how his high motor, he runs it back down, gets in on the tackle, and that's a great football play, putting him in a third down situation.
Third down long for Rockford. A big test for both sides, just about 3 minutes in. Ahern with time, down the middle. McLean makes the catch, leading his way, awfully close to the first down. He may be 5'7", 165, but this man's got a motor.
You're sitting in the zone defense. You saw the bubble. They hit it with you earlier. Now you're going to see them fake the bubble, and they get that hitch route right there, sits down in the zone. Great catch. Fourth is short.
Ahern fakes, Zach keeping, tumbling his way for the first down, and the Rockford drive continues. Not afraid to sacrifice his body to keep this drive alive.
See this left guard pull around, lead the way. Great block, putting the defender on his back, and great vision there by Zach Ahern.
Ahern giving to Ahern. Zach to Ryan. A physical run. And they finally mark him down inside the 10.
You can see why he's a great wrestler. That's great balance there with his footwork.
Ryan was called up to varsity before the season. His sophomore playing with his senior quarterback brother, and Zach is more happy than Ryan that he's on the team with him. Quick throw. Ahern's got it caught. McLean looking for real estate. Caledonia swarms to the ball and sets up another huge third down. Justin,
third
what are you
down.
calling here?
Yeah, third down, you want to be conservative. You still want to get points out of this, but you want to go back to what's working. Right now, they're concerned about that bubble. You know, we could get a draw. I've seen a lot of film where they're even doing a screen down here, which, you know, is definitely a little bit risky, but we'll see what they do here. Another hard count penalties.
I think Caledonia's right side defensive end jumped off. Looked like Ben Norris maybe jumped off. Here's the call. That is not going to make Caledonia's coaching staff happy at all. Those are mistakes you just can't make.
No, and not in the red zone. You're going to get most likely the running back here, Ryan Ahern, or you're going to get a QB keep here, QB lead that we saw earlier that definitely worked and got a good chunk of yards.
Goal to go for Rockford on one heck of an opening drive. And another whistle. This is to be expected with the long delay.
You know, you're seeing that motion. You keep working it, keep the linebackers occupied with that. They're concerned about the jet sweep, get concerned with the bubble, and, you know, you can always take that quarterback up the middle and foul those big boys pulling.
Was a first and goal from inside the 5. Now you back it up to about the 8. This does open up the playbook a little bit. Zach gives to Ryan. The Ahern brothers keeping it. But Caledonia's defensive line continuing to eat up space. It's Andrew DeVries down there.
Yeah, and you had 7 players in the box, so they had good numbers, hat on hat. Great play there by Andrew DeVries that we talked about earlier. He's that tough leader up front, and he's going to make a difference in this game. Love to see Caledonia get a stop here. Great goal line, stand. Definitely can bring momentum to the team.
This drive for Rockford has taken nearly half the first quarter. They waited 2 hours to play the game. You may as well hang on to the ball. And now, after time dwindling away, a timeout called. That is going to be a timeout for Caledonia. Rockford on the move. The Fighting Scots hoping to stop them short. A great start to our Football Fridays on the west side in Rockford. We're back in a moment on Bally Sports. The Rockford Rams are about to have a big 3rd and goal, and you may as well have this guy calling your plays in a spot like this. Jason Vanderlaan, one of the finer collegiate football players this state has ever seen. Believe it or not, after a career in the NFL with a bunch of teams over half a decade, he is now the offensive coordinator for the Rockford Rams. What an absolutely stunning hire, and the results are certainly paying off, Justin Cessante. This Rams team is 6-0.
I'm talking to Coach Cummings. He said he's had a tremendous impact on Zach Ahern's development, mostly the pocket presence and seeing progression, staying in the pocket. When you can run as well as Zach Ahern does, 4.5 speed, 6'2", 200 pounds, obviously in high school you can take over a game, but he's really developed him into a great college prospect and a guy that's helping to lead this team.
Let's see what he's got in his bag of tricks on a 2nd down and goal. Ahern fields the snap. Stepping up in the pocket, escaping pressure. Zach Ahern, you are a baller. This kid has got the goods. The rain is not slowing down this crowd, and it's not slowing down Zach Ahern. What a play for the first touchdown of the ball game. That'll fire up a sideline, fire up a squad of Rams that were waiting in that locker room for nearly 2 hours to kick this one off. Jackson Burkholder on to tack on the PAT, and it's good. What an impressive opening drive for the Rockford Rams. That took half of the first quarter. And Zach Ahern with a little bit of magic to score the first touchdown of the game.
Oh, you get a little shimmy here. This is a setup play here. Corner routes from the slots. Right now, you're seeing him scan the field. He decides to pull it down, and look at the great feet. Unbelievable. This kid's an athlete, and look at the will get into the end zone. First touchdown of the game. Zach Ahern.
What impresses me about this run, he is moving as fast sideways as he is running forward. And when you score, you can point to whoever you want, my friend.
And this is a kid that doesn't shy away from contact. He runs like a linebacker, and you can see right there he's either going to run through you or run around you, and you just never know.
I mean, with his size, a lot of high schools in this state would have him playing linebacker. He's 6'3", 200. Big dude.
No doubt about that.
Jackson Burkholder, who just tacked on his 34th PAT of the year to kick it deep. The lone man back deep for Caledonia is Brock Townsend, who took the opening kickoff back for a TD last week. They're not scared, they're kicking it. And it's a touchback. The 13th of the season for Jackson Burkholder.
What a leisure to be able to have a kicker put that in the end zone.
All right, Caledonia. Zach Ahern just provided the opening salvo. What does Mason McKenzie have in his back pocket? He's not getting the praise that Zach Ahern is across the state of Michigan, but this guy is nearly equally as good. He runs for a lot. He passes for a lot. A guy who really leads by example. A guy who in the offseason, Justin, grew as a human being, and he's a huge reason why these Caledonia Fighting Scots are 6-0.
No doubt. When we got a chance to talk to him and interview him during the week, he's got a quiet confidence about him. And it just seems like a guy that leads by example, not a rah-rah guy, but you can see they're following this junior right to a 6-0 record.
Give. Brock Townsend. What a hole, and what a shoestring tackle. And if that play's not made, Brock is still running. Caledonia's offense averaging 37 points per game. The offensive line leads to a lot of big, gaping, rushing holes. Caleb Parlberg and Andrew DeVries on the left side of that line are the names you got to keep an eye on. I'm excited to watch Justice Reed in the slot. He's 5'7", 145, but he's a jitterbug out there, Justin.
He can move, and you better believe they're going to try to get him the ball tonight. Very athletic, very quick.
2nd down and medium, back to Townsend, and this one not gaining very much. It'll be a 3rd down for Caledonia. Big loss on the defensive side for Rockford tonight. Brooke Fletcher has more on that.
Yeah, the Rams will be looking to make up for the absence of Cade Costas, one of their top defensive linemen on this defense. Now, he will miss tonight's game due to a knee injury. It's not a season-ending injury, but he will be out for tonight's game. Coach Cummings said with that, he's going to be looking to other playmakers to step it up, one of those being Andrew Griffin, along with other guys on that defense. Obviously, a huge loss for this Rams defense, you guys.
Third down for Caledonia against that Rockford D, and the pass too tall for Justice Reed.
And simply an empty look. Get to the sticks, catch the football, ball's a little high.
Do you think that's because of the conditions? I mean, it's kind of, sort of, maybe raining. It's certainly what it was when we showed up here around 5 o'clock today.
I think maybe the juices are flowing a little bit. We're down 7-0, got to make a play. A little bit of a high throw. Mason McKenzie has a quiet confidence. He's going to bounce back. He's going to make some plays this game. He wish he could have that one back.
Braden Russo to punt it. Swings the right leg through it. Rockford got some good pressure. McLean on the return. Makes the first guy miss. Alex McLean with a walk. Alex McLean down the sideline. And he's deep into Caledonia territory. An excellent return for Rockford.
I'll tell you what, Alex McLean's a name we're saying a lot here. See him get the ball. Most high school kids are probably going to fair catch this. He goes in and takes a chance, breaks the tackle, gets up the sideline, and he's out like the lights.
He is just holding down the right trigger on your video game controller and sprinting his way for an awesome return. You thought, Justin, that special teams at a tight game like this would be huge? Got an early answer. It's yes. Ahern keeps. Zach Ahern with room. Waiting for blockers, tiptoeing out of bounds, with another first down for the Rams.
Basically a zone read, pulls the ball. He's getting that outside. Right in the beginning of the game, you didn't see him getting that edge. Now Rockford's starting to exploit that edge a little bit. Hopefully Caledonia can find a way to seal that up.
Now, they were getting some good pressure internally, the Fighting Scots were, but certainly the edges are there for Rockford running the ball right now. Bubble screen. Ahern has it caught, but Vandenhout is blown up. Hello to you too, Jimmy Floyd.
This is great study film right here. We've been hurt on it a couple times this game. Linebackers had to be responsible. You see the corner come up and fill, make a great open field tackle.
That is pad level, and that is a big-time hit coming in your living room. Jimmy Floyd leads the Caledonia Fighting Scots with 10 pass breakups on the year. He lowered the hit stick on that one. Zach Ahern keeps. Racing left side. He reaches for the pylon. Zach Ahern waiting for the signal. He's out of bounds short. There's a flag on that play, usually where you get holding.
Get in a holding play, got the edge again. Starting to become a little easy. It's so frustrating for Caledonia, right? You have this quarterback bottled up, tackle for loss.
10-yard penalty for the spotted foul. Second down. Holding against Rockford.
Again, that zone read, he gets outside, and you see the hold there.
These are such tough blocks for wide receivers. It's tough to blame Leo Vanderweel on a play like this where Ahern is kind of dancing his way out there.
If you watch film on them, they've been doing a tremendous job on the bubble screens, on the rocket passes all season. Just got caught on one there.
A little bit of trickery. McLean makes another man miss. And Caledonia ends up doing a pretty good job on that play. Rockford digging deep in the playbook in the first quarter.
Yeah, you see this trickery here. A little bit of a slow developing play. Gave opportunity for Caledonia's defense to read it and to react, and they did a good job of stuffing this.
Especially considering that McLean does make the first man miss. It's what they've been doing this entire first quarter. You got to rally your guys to the football.
And it's fun to watch number 70, Andrew DeVries, run. Big boy getting sideline to sideline.
He's 6'3", 285, but he runs like a much smaller human.
Got a one-on-one matchup here, unless the safety's going to come over top and help. Number 84.
With time for the end zone, that's incomplete. He got crossed up on the route with Alex McLean. Zach thought Alex was going toward the back of the end zone, and Alex stopped his route.
Yeah, and you and I have discussed a couple times. You see Tyler Roman out there. He's tall, he's fast. Safety's inside of the hash. You may want to go back to look at that one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, Roman's a big body at 6'3", 185 out there, and 160 receiving yards last week. Never really looked his way yet. Burkholder to attempt the PAT. It's about 33 yards on the attempt. Good snap, good hold, and the kick. No good. The Fighting Scots needed a stop, and they got it. The Rockford Rams driving into Caledonia territory, but their drive snuffed out. And that big student section for Caledonia's got a little juice again.
Man, Caledonia needed that. That goes a 10-0 game, or now it's a swing 7-0. You got a chance to even it up.
Burkholder's been a pretty consistent kicker this year, but that one never really had a chance.
Yeah, we said special teams was going to make a big difference. They have a great punt return, then missed the field goal.
The Caledonia fan support is outstanding. Their head coach, Derek Pennington, when we talked to him over Zoom earlier this week, he was discussing how we get 13,000 people at our games. Look, I understand that there's going to be 12,000 people in Rockford on Friday night, but we just played against that last week. The only difference is they're yelling at us.
Great poise there by Mason McKenzie.
It's a broken play, and Mason brought down in the open field. Jock Lamancusa, who's had an excellent season, makes the tackle. Lamancusa's 6'3", 220. As you may have guessed, he also plays basketball. Outstanding power forward for the Rams hoops team.
Yeah, that could have been a disastrous play. Low snap, couldn't handle it, ball hit the ground, he picked it back up and made something of it.
Feels like Caledonia needs to put something together on this drive. Even if they don't score, they got to get a couple of first downs and get their offense some confidence.
Yeah, field position is going to definitely take big part in this game and who wins it. So, got to play that field position game, got to start getting some yards.
Townsend, left side, good gainer. Ball came out, but he was down. If you're Caledonia, you're feeling good about the fact that their offensive line is creating some holes for Townsend on the ground.
Same side counter pull. You have that guard pulling up there, big boys. We talked about them, all senior offensive line. And these are big guys that are going to start making us some holes. Brock Townsend put on 15 pounds in this offseason, and he's a downhill runner and has a little shimmy shake to him as well.
This big crowd making noise on a 3rd down 3. Kenzie rolling away from the pressure. Mason finds an open man. 1st down, Caledonia. Evan Graham makes the catch and moves the sticks.
And look, that's what you're supposed to do. As a wide receiver, you're supposed to find space, post up, sit down. You see he does a fantastic job. There's a man cover in there. Mason McKenzie keeping his eyes downfield, and he just sits in space. Simply right after the sticks, makes a huge 1st down for Caledonia.
Just a 1st down they needed for their confidence. Townsend gets away from the first, not going to get away from the rest. Gains a few.
And I appreciate that Caledonia is not panicking. There's no reason to. And that they're staying true to the run game. Establish your run game, and the rest of their offense works off of that.
The Fighting Scots took the early punch. Zach Ahern ran into the end zone, created a little magic to give the Rockford Rams the first points of the ball game. But the Fighting Scots have gotten a stop on defense, and now their offense is starting to move the football. This is one of the best scenes we've had all year on a football Friday across our great state of Michigan. And we got a good one so far. Zach Ahern, shocker, he already scored a touchdown. Rockford 7, Caledonia with the ball when you come on back.
I think the key to our team's success is the fun that we're having. You know, we call it the fun train. We're always rolling.
The fun train. One thing I noticed being around this Cal team this week is that they just like to have fun, and players and Coach Pennington attest a lot of their success this year to just that, the fun culture they have. And the leader of that fun train is assistant coach Anthony Adams. As you can see, he brings a jukebox before every single game. They have some dance parties. They also have some, obviously, some dance parties at practice. Now, I asked Coach, well, what's the go-to music? He says, we listen to all sorts of music, but last week we had a dance party to Neil Diamond. I didn't know this generation was a big Neil Diamond fan, you guys.
Well, Brooke, we had a more recent song being played in warm-ups, Hardened to Paint by Waka Flocka Flame, so they did not go with Neil Diamond before the game. We got to get locked in. But, Justin, that positivity for the Caledonia Fighting Scots helps in situations like this. Rockford scored first. No problem, they say. They're right back in this ballgame.
Keep the team loose. Good hard run there.
Couple of yards for Townsend. Like what you said as the first quarter wound down. Yeah, Caledonia's down. It's a huge crowd. We waited a while because of weather to play this game, but they're not panicking. They're still sticking to their game plan and running the football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's key to a game like this, that you don't start trying to do things outside of your normalcy. There's no reason to panic. It's 7-0. Yes, there's a big crowd. Yes, there's been a delay in the game, but continue to do what got you to 6-0.
3rd down 5 for Caledonia. McKenzie off play action. Down the middle, incomplete. It's the second time he's missed Justice Reed on a 3rd down.
That's a great job by the safety getting over top there.
Justice Reed, along with Evan Graham, are two slippery slot guys at 5'7" and 5'8". Aside from the one catch for Evan Graham, they haven't found space for those guys yet. Rockford's done a nice job.
And Rockford's very athletic in the back end. They can hit, they can run. They're doing a tremendous job of really locking down that pass game.
Russo will once again punt. Sam Watts, the man deep. McLean returned the last punt. Watts lets it bounce, finally picks it up, and delivers a crunch. Watts waited a while to pick up that ball, and when he finally did, he made it count. The Rockford Rams, one of the storied football programs, one of the better athletic programs in the state of Michigan. If you need proof, Justin Cessante, they've sent a few guys to the NFL. I think the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, and this is Rockford University. Look at these facilities, look at the weight room, and obviously have a great tradition, 3 state championships.
I mean, we were delayed by nearly 2 hours. Justin and I almost literally went across the street and got a workout in. I wanted to, but everyone else said no, so, I'll just wait till the morning, I guess. Zach Ahern gives to Ryan Ahern. And man, every time Rockford tries to run the ball up the middle, the Caledonia defensive line is having none of it.
Well, they have big bodies up there, right? Start getting in your fronts. You can't really move these guys out of the way. We talked about how Rockford has a bit smaller offensive defensive line. You see right here, these big bodies just stuff in. There's nowhere to go. Big pile. Great job running their feet.
Well, but he got started early on the right side for Rockford. That's going to back him up.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
We expected this, Justin, with the weather delay. We've had multiple penalties on both sides. It's to be expected when teams are just sitting around for 2 hours before the game.
Yeah, a little bit of mental lag, but you're starting to see a heavyweight match here, punch for punch. Both teams are making a couple penalties.
Zach Ahern with the edge set by Ben Norris has nowhere to go. Great job by him to get a few yards out of a play that looked doomed from the beginning.
Talking to Anthony Adams, 3-time national champion that's on the staff of Caledonia, they wanted to keep things in front of them. They wanted to keep their athletes in front of them, make good tackles, and they did a good job of bottling up Zach Ahern there.
Great job by Ben Norris, the 6-foot senior on the right side of the D-line, setting the edge and setting up a 3rd down long. Play action for Zach Ahern. Setting up throwback screen. He finds his brother Ryan. Ryan lowers his shoulder, and Caledonia, with a flag flying late, does have a 4th down, but this could be a huge mistake for the Fighting Scots if that's a penalty on Caledonia.
Yeah, it could have been a face mask. Creative play call there. Zach Ahern had to be patient to make this work. You get the fake handoff, he leaks out into the flats. He's got a blocker out front.
So they called personal foul, no face mask. I suppose the call was hit out of bounds, but that's one of those deals where as a defender, the guy's just going out of bounds and you're following him. There's no, malpractice in that. You're not trying to hurt him. That's not the intent of the rule, at least in my opinion.
No, in live action, too, you don't want to be too hard on the referees. Also a very physical, chippy game. So probably trying to call that play to make sure that nothing expands on that during this 48 minutes.
Ryan Ahern, keep trying that middle, and they continue to get stuffed after a yard or two. Another flag. I believe this is going to be a sideline warning on Rockford's coaching staff. One of their assistants is halfway on the field right now. We told you this game was getting chippy.
It's sportsmanlike conduct. Rockford. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Yeah, typically you get a warning from the coaching staff. He was out on there. The referee didn't like it. Maybe a little bit of a makeup call.
Maybe, and it's also one of those deals as a coach, it's tough to explain to your players on film tomorrow, right? You're preaching patience, you're preaching accountability from them, and then you're the one who commits a penalty?
Hey, this game's emotional. It matters to both teams, and you're seeing it from the hitting going on as well as the coaching.
Coach Cummings will get that cleaned up. Ahern running again. Zach Ahern with the pedal to the metal. Gets back across the original line of scrimmage. That is a game they desperately needed after the big personal foul penalty.
Yeah, and you can see that they're setting up the bubble. They're looking for the seams, but that was a design run. He didn't check the bubble very quickly. Got downhill right now.
What continues to impress me about Ahern's running style, when he moves left and right laterally, he's still moving at full speed. There's no stop. He's already run for 1 touchdown today. 18 rushing touchdowns on the season in 6 games and a quarter. It's staggering to think about.
Yeah, and you got to think there's four down territory here, so call a play that you can get some yards.
Pressure coming. Zach steps away from it. Ahern down the field, and it's caught for the 1st down. Mac Vandenhout sits down, makes the catch, and keeps the drive alive.
Yeah, again, Zach making something happen, moving in the pocket, and this is just broken coverage right here. Nobody in the outside flats. They're playing a cover 2. You had the corner vacate. Cover 2 high safeties.
Zach Ahern giving to Ryan Ahern, who is pushed backward. Luke Monsager continued to play until the whistle blows, and the Rockford fans don't exactly like that.
Yeah, look for Rockford to go back to those outside flats when you're getting some cover 2. That's really the weak part of the defense. You have 2 high safeties. You're playing the corners a little bit off with a little bit of bail technique. That outside open flats is going to be there.
We may need to get a timeout here as Zach Ahern looking after his younger brother Ryan. Ryan is on a knee here, a little bit shaken up. Good news is Ryan's on his feet. You just want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Timeout on the field. Rockford on the move, looking to make it a 2-score game. Right now, our focus on Ryan Ahern. We're back in a moment on Bally Sports.
Ryan, he's definitely my best friend. I mean, we do everything together. Him getting pulled up, I was way more excited than him even, I think. And just to, have him in the backfield with me it's awesome.
Yeah, making varsity for Ryan wasn't easy. He really put in the work this offseason doing workouts with Zach. Ryan saying at times he couldn't really keep up with him. Obviously, it paid off, though. You could see how in sync they are on the field. But when it comes to their personalities, they couldn't be more opposite. Ryan describing Zach as very loud and confident, and Ryan very quiet and reserved. But I asked Zach, well, how do you get your brother going? And he said, listen, you got to smack talk him a little bit. The more you smack talk him, the more you get him going. And he is an animal out there, and he's kind of proven that here tonight, you guys.
Yes, he absolutely is. And Zach is a true big brother. I'm a big brother myself. Sometimes you just have to get a little younger brother going a little bit. Zach's a true big brother, and I love it. Ahern on misdirection and miscommunication. Minds back Vandenhout. Max made a couple of nice catches today, and Mac on a reverse has got a first down for Rockford. They've run a similar looking play a couple of times, Justin.
Yeah, you get a jet sweep here. They've done a pretty good job of bottling this up all night. You have to get that outside linebacker running a one-on-one matchup, and he just didn't win it this time.
That's Vandenhout's 12th carry of the season. This is the third time that Rockford has made it into Caledonia's red zone. They're 1 for 2. Ahern faking to Ahern. Zach keeps, plunges ahead, and gains a couple. Zach Ahern, as we've talked about earlier tonight, he's a monster. He's 6'3", 200, and this is how you get bigger. You flip tires.
Yeah, the kid works tremendously hard in the offseason, and again, you can tell by his stature and his demeanor. He's running like Tim Tebow out here tonight.
And as always, shirts are optional. The Ahern brothers in the backfield on second down. Zach running right, waiting for a hole that doesn't really open. Third down coming up for Rockford.
Yep. Yeah, guys, Ryan was also doing some workouts in the offseason, but also Cam White is one of his best friends. I was talking to Zach's mom, and he said that Cam, Ryan, and Zach would be out there flipping the tires like you just saw. You even had Cam getting on Zach's shoulders at times, but, you know, trying to get creative during quarantine, you guys, with these workouts, but clearly it's paying off.
Yeah, we all had to get creative. Zach got more creative. Ahern keeps, got away from the first, can't get away from the second and third. What a huge play that is for the Caledonia D-line.
And you see here, they're not getting pushed back on the defensive line, and they love bringing those inside linebackers. Anthony Adams told me earlier this week that they're going to be aggressive and they're going to fill. And that's exactly what they did. First man doesn't get them down, but everybody's running to the football, 11 hats.
That was Derek Pennington, the coach's son, who swarmed everything back to the middle and blew the play up. Burkholder tries another field goal, and this one is true. The junior kicker now 1 for 2 on field goals tonight, and Rockford goes up by 10. So the Rams have been into the red zone 3 times. They've scored a touchdown and now kick this field goal. Kudos to Jackson Burkholder knocking it through. And the Rams up by 10 on homecoming. When you think high school football coaches in the state of Michigan, you have to think of Ralph Munger, one of the finer coaches that this state has ever seen. He was so darn good with the Rockford Rams that they named the stadium after him. 3-time state champion here on the west side of Michigan. Numbers that just make your eyes bug out when you look at them on that screen, Justin. You and I were fortunate to play for one of the greatest coaches in the history of the state of Michigan, Tom Mack at Detroit Catholic Central, and Ralph Munger is of that ethos. He expected a lot of his players. They gave him a lot in return, and Brett Cummings, very similar to his predecessor, Ralph Munger. He was on his staff, and his players love him like they loved Ralph Munger.
No doubt. Great attention to detail by Coach Cummings, and playing against Coach Munger in the 1998 state championship, I just remember his intensity on the sideline. It always struck me, and I always respected that.
The Rockford Rams, year after year, season after season, are a force to be reckoned with. They're up 10-0 tonight. Burkholder kicks it deep. That is another touchback, his second of the night.
And it's a luxury to have a kicker to be able to put in the end zone. Majority of the teams in the state of Michigan don't have a kicker to do that. You take away a weapon like Brock Townsend, who's taken a couple touchdowns back.
Big crowd here at Rockford High School, fired up all night long. They had to wait nearly a couple hours. We had really nasty weather in the area before the game. The rain is pretty much cleared. Big crowds on both sides. That student section for Caledonia is waiting for excuses to make noise. The Rockford student section has had plenty of excuses to make noise all night long.
Yeah, you really want to see Caledonia respond here. Defense has been playing phenomenal. Couple red zone stops, missed field goal, holds them right there to 3.
Straight run McKenzie, off a good block, hurtling over his offensive lineman for a good solid gain on first down. Caledonia has been one of the best teams in Division II all season. A 6-0 campaign for the Fighting Scots so far. Big wins over Granville, Grand Haven, and an impressive win against West Ottawa last week, who gave them a pretty good run early in that ballgame. There's a state title in Caledonia's past. They're hoping to get back there, and a win tonight would sure help build the confidence. Townsend tackled in the open field. It's the second time tonight that he's been tripped up by his shoelaces. Colby Weston makes the stop.
Yeah, they need to keep time of possession right now. Really need to find a play in their playbook that gets them a first down so they keep the sticks moving. And they don't give this ball back to this potent Rockford offense.
Rockford offense that already has made 3 trips into the red zone. Caledonia's only converted once on third down tonight.
We have an empty look. That's no running backs, all wide receivers.
Setting up the middle screen. Reed makes the catch. How'd he do that? Justice Reed first down, and they finally got to him on a third down. A monster conversion for the Fighting Scots.
What an amazing catch. A lot of savvy there by Justice Reed, and just an athlete being an athlete. Rockford defender comes, can't stop his momentum. Great one-handed catch right here. Has to pull it down with one arm, and he gets to the sticks. Great play. Justice Reed, I'm telling you, I watched him on film. I expected them, after talking to Coach Pennington, to try to get him the rock more.
On a touchdown last week. Has nearly 300 receiving yards on the season. McKenzie keeps, and Mason has to fight hard to get back to the line.
And Rockford's been doing a phenomenal job against that zone read and not letting Mason McKenzie get out.
The Rockford defense, every single starter, a junior or senior. That is the luxury of having a program like this. No young guys in that 11. You got experienced boys out on that field.
Tradition that reloads.
Allowing just about 19 points per game, but most of the points they've allowed have been in 2 games against Sterling Heights, Stevenson, and Granville. McKenzie throws, pass, caught, but that one snuffed out from the beginning. Maybe not. Nick Fox stayed on his feet and got the first down. That's why you play until the whistle blows.
Yeah, Caledonia is giving Rockford a little bit of dose of their own medicine. You get a rocket screen here. You think you got to stop. Corner comes up, makes a tremendous play. A lot of savvy. Let's see if this knee goes down.
I don't see it yet.
And I don't think it does. I think he comes on the body, gets up and goes.
Yeah.
That ball. Unsportsmanlike. Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And that's not going to help either. That is the second unsportsmanlike foul on Rockford in the first half. They're keeping Caledonia in this game with silly penalties.
Well, this is a bang-bang play, and if that knee didn't go down,
his left forearm is down. The knee never went down, but the left forearm is down. The knee never does go down.
That's typically what the referees are looking for. Rockford crowd not happy about it.
This huge crowd of over 10,000 fans not happy with what's going on right now. Yeah, their team's up 10, but Caledonia is on the move. So we're coming down the wire in the first half. The Fighting Scots of Caledonia High made the trip from just outside of Grand Rapids earlier on today. State championship in football back in 2005. We saw their notable alum before the ball game today. Mark Ewell is in the house. We always appreciate the help that the entire staff at the MHSA does to help us put on these broadcasts on Bally Sports. Mark's a proud alum, and he's hoping that his alma mater can put something on the board here late in the first half.
Yeah, not only a great leader as the executive director of the MHSA, but a great man. Got to know him over the years, and he's doing a tremendous job being an innovator.
Especially considering all the things we've had to deal with over the last year and a half. Mason McKenzie has a guy wide open. Brock Townsend to the house.
Oh my gosh, start the band.
He was all alone. What a response from Caledonia.
You see right here, you get a crossing route, it goes to the wheel, nobody picks him up, broken coverage, and we're off to the races. Start the band.
Brock Townsend has 6 touchdowns this season. They've all been on the ground. What a time for your first receiving touchdown of the season. The sophomore, who you're going to be hearing a lot about in the future, the track star in the offseason, just ran by everybody to the house. No. You're seeing Mason McKenzie on the field right now. He's the holder on the PATs. Caledonia's not trying anything, at least not yet.
Defense. Decline. Try.
Interesting to see that Caledonia actually decline that penalty. Maybe you take it and try to go for 2.
Yeah, it is surprising. Going back to that play, they had either a safety in the box, they had nobody on. There was a one-on-one on the outside, nobody on number 2 receiver, and he wheels and goes.
Connor Beach. Tex on the extra point. He's made 26 of them this season. All right, Justin, let's get another look as McKenzie finds Brock Townsend all alone. That is going to fire up that Caledonia student section. We're still trying to figure out how that happened. Let's see how it actually did happen.
Yeah, you see man-to-man on the top of the screen here. One-on-one, you got Tyler Broman. Nobody accounts for number 2. Receiver in the slot. He simply comes off the butt of the number 1 receiver and goes to a wheel route. Wide open, touchdown. Big response for Caledonia's offense.
And Caledonia, defensively, has seen Rockford drive down the field in the red zone 3 times. Their offense had to put something together. They convert on a couple of 3rd downs, and that is as easy as a throw as Mason McKenzie will make all season. So the Fighting Scots back in the game. Rockford still leading, and Rockford has the ball now with just about 3 minutes to go. About to get it back in this second quarter. Remember, Caledonia gets the ball to start the second half. So this is a huge drive for Rockford. Be in their best interest to go down and score and make this a 2-score game again, because the Fighting Scots are about to get the ball right back.
Yeah, and you kind of become in a little bit of a pickle as an offensive coordinator, right? You want to push the ball, you want to get some points, but you also don't want to make a mistake, give it back to Caledonia and let them score before half.
That's a low kick, fielded on the ground by Vroman. And a flag, a couple of them come in late. Vroman did take the return across the 25, but you usually get holding when flags are thrown like that.
Yeah, or the kickoff team came in and dived into the legs of the wedge, which is illegal.
During the return, holding. Return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Rockford may be leading this game, Justin, but there are certainly things that they can address in the locker room. One of them is penalties. They've had a bunch of them in this first half.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise of a lack of composure from the sideline as well as the players, and getting them a little bit of trouble here, backing them up in their end zone.
Long field for Zach Ahern, pumping and throwing. That ball knocked away, incomplete. Excellent defense by Andrew Gray.
Yeah, and that pump fake really got that wide receiver. You see this pump fake here to the bubble. They've been concerned about it. It's hurt them a couple times, and they go to the go route. The ball's a little bit underthrown there. I wish, and I know Zach Ahern wish he could have that one back.
Now, Leo Vanderweel did have a step. Great defense by Gray. Keeping it up the middle and not gaining very much at all. Caledonia makes another fine defensive play.
This reminds you of a heavyweight match, doesn't it? There's punches back and forth. It's a physical football game, a lot of emotion. And I'm extremely impressed with both teams, how they came up and maintained their energy. I understand there's 10,000 people, but they had to sit around for 3-4 hours. Caledonia's bus got here around 4:30.
Ahern on 3rd down and long. Zipping it far side. It's incomplete. Too tall for Vandenhout. A much-needed stop for Caledonia. They got a chance here to go 2 for 1. They're about to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and they go to the post out here, and you see they're attacking those outside flats again. 2 high safeties, corners playing a little soft, and he just misses the throw. Zach Ahern, watching him all year, he has a good accuracy, strong arm, and I bet he wish he could have those 2 throws back.
Yeah, especially watching those last 2 replays. Zach's feet weren't quite set as he'd like. Zach punts it away. It's a heck of a punt. Caledonia won't even try to return it. And they're going to have about 70 or so yards to go. The Caledonia Fighting Scots, their tradition and their culture around their program, they've got some really cool things that happen each week. Down to the sidelines we go in Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, guys, we know how superstitious people can get with sports, right? Well, one of Coach Pennington's biggest superstitions is that he and the team eat a bowl of spaghetti before every game. It got started before the first game. Luke Monsinger's mom made a bowl of spaghetti for everyone, and since they won, Coach was like, well, hey, now you got to do it before every single game. So that's exactly what she's been doing, and it's been successful. So I had to get in on the action. She made me a bowl, so I'm going to give it a try here. Will you hold the mic? Thank you, Brittany.
Brock Townsend up the middle. All right, Brock.
Okay, I'm giving it a try. 1 bite. Everybody knows the rules. 9.7.
Wow.
9.7. Very good bowl of spaghetti.
Thank you, Brooke. Didn't know I was doing the game with Dave Portnoy, but there you go. Look, if Mom's Spaghetti is good enough for M&M, it's good enough for the Caledonia Fighting Scots. That's incomplete, and McKenzie tried to throw a la Patrick Mahomes across his body, rolling away, and only one human being can do that. Justin, would you eat spaghetti before a football game at Grand Valley?
You're asking a Sicilian. I used to eat angel hair pasta, some of the best pasta that my grandmother could make, so yes. You know, you got to respect that Caledonia's pushing it. They're here to win. They're not here to try to tie the game, and they're not here to just try to hang on. So I respect the fact that they're trying to push this ball down the field right now.
Yeah, they do have 2 timeouts, and remember, they get the ball to start the second half. McKenzie setting up the screen, and that one was read right from the get-go. Townsend made the catch, but that thing blown up from the beginning. Rick Beeson was watching that play on film all week.
Yeah, pretty gutsy play call here. That could have went a lot of different ways, and Bison just makes a great play at linebacker.
Look at his eyes. He had that red from the beginning.
Yeah, and you better believe Brent Cummings and Jaster Vanderlaan teach these kids how to be students of the game and watch film. And that's a film play by a linebacker.
We had a timeout on the field before a 4th down 2. I'd be stunned if Caledonia does not punt. Rockford will have some timeouts to play with. And yes, they have Zach Ahern, but if we're being honest about things, Justin, Rockford has not thrown the ball particularly well in this game. They're going to have to throw it if they want to score before the first half ends.
Yeah, and this might be something you get out of the second half, you regroup, get some of that composure back, go back to the game plan and try to throttle it in the second half.
Aiden Russo will punt it. It's a backup D lineman. You normally don't have a D lineman as your punter. This is why we love high school football. That's a good boot.
He's going to get a chance to return.
Some room for Watts. He can never finally pick it up. Sam wrapped up. Great coverage on special teams. Tip your cap to Caledonia. That was some awesome play on special teams. And now a long way to go for the Rockford Rams. That's Josh Fedowa on the tackle on punt.
Really good placement by the punter, putting it between the hash and the sideline. Doesn't give a lot of space, gets an awkward bounce, and Sam Watts doesn't know if he's going to pick it up right away, picks it up late, and you see the Caledonia special teams make a great play, run into the football.
62 seconds to work for Rockford. They scored the first 10 points in this game. Ahern running and gaining a few. If you're Zach Ahern, you have got to have ball security in a situation like that. The Fighting Scots are going to be clawing at that football.
I'll tell you what, Ben Norris, you watch this young man on film, he comes up and lays the wood, and that's exactly what he did right there.
Ben had 3 sacks in a win earlier this season against Granville. 7 tackles for loss, leads the team in sacks. And Rockford right now is content to go to the locker room. They're going to run another play or two here.
We'd start expecting Caledonia to get in some type of prevent defense.
Ahern rolling away for more pressure. Zach throws it away.
And now the clock stops.
It may have been in his best interest, honestly, just to slide down and force somebody to call a timeout. Because now you set up the situation where, okay, yeah, we can run it, Caledonia can call a timeout, and then you have the whole situation, do we, have a poor operation on the punt? So it actually would have been in Zach's best interest potentially just to fall on the ground instead of throwing it away.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We'll keep it on the ground. Ben Norris tackling Ryan Ahern, if I had $1 for every time I said that tonight. And now Caledonia will call a timeout to make Rockford snap it one more time. Looked like they got the timeout in time. Rockford wants to go to the locker room, but the officials are going to bring it back.
Caledonia wants to set up their punt block.
Especially with where this ball is on the field. This is inside the 20-yard line. This is not an easy punt.
Yeah, I think the one benefit that you have from Rockford is Zach Ahern, your best athlete, is also the punter. So you're in some really good hands and got about 2 seconds to get this ball.
Derek Pennington and the coaching staff for Caledonia using one of their final timeouts to ensure that Rockford will have to punt it one more time. Overall, Justin, after nearly 24 minutes of football, what are you feeling in this game?
You know, some people might say it's not that exciting because the score is low, but this is the type of football and brand of football that you love. It's a lot of hitting, a lot of physicality, and really they are having opportunities to have some big plays on each side, just some missed opportunities.
Now, what impresses me about Pennington and his Caledonia Fighting Scots, they fell behind 10-0 early. Rockford was really playing well offensively, but they've just had an answer for everything Rockford has thrown at them, at least in the final few stages of this first half.
Yeah, Whitney Bell over at Caledonia has his defense just playing a tremendous game. They're running to the football. That's how you want to see defenses play. Old school, black and blue.
Rockford was not going to even risk a punt.
Ball starts. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
And still,
Please
there are still variables to this
clock.
play, right? You're still snapping out of the shotgun. There are still ways that this could go wrong. You got to be careful.
And if you get down on a knee too quick, it could be a problem.
Ahern may be throwing a lollipop into the air, too. This ball's up in the air and picked. Jimmy Floyd with the pick. And luckily for the Rockford Rams, they do bring him to the ground. That could have been a disaster.
Yeah, they kind of treat that Hail Mary pass as almost a punt. But you always leave a chance for an interception for a return for touchdown.
I think Zach was trying to throw this ball out of bounds. He just didn't have the chance to get enough arm strength to throw it out of play. So Jimmy Floyd has his first pick of the season, and the Caledonia Fighting Scots, they may be down by 3 at halftime, but these guys have got all the confidence in the world right now. Down to the sidelines we go in Brooke.
Coach Zach Ahern showing confidence early in the game with that rushing touchdown, but then he threw that pick there. What's your message to him to kind of calm him down at half?
You know, it's going to be an emotional game, tough fought game between two quality teams. We can see that right now. You know, there's been a few penalties that we'd like to get cleaned up. You know, a couple of those are on the coaching staff, and so that's definitely some things we can talk about as a staff in there with the guys and make some adjustments. They'll be ready to roll. Yeah,
you mentioned adjustment. What sort of adjustments do you think your team needs to make in order to maintain this lead and take home this game?
You know, I think it always comes down to doing your best, giving your best effort on your assignment. That's what we preach, and that's what we need our guys to do in the second half.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Evan, I'll send it back to you.
Brooke, thank you very much. Brett Cummings, since taking over the job at Rockford, is 14-1. If he's going to get win number 15, he is going to have to work for it. The Caledonia Fighting Scots have come to play. The OK Red title is on the line tonight, and we have got a ball game, everybody. Rockford up by 3 at the break. Halftime coming up.
Welcome back. The Rams lead 10-7 here at the half. Zach Ahern, a name you've heard a lot here tonight, but listen, he's not the only football star in the Ahern family. For his family, football is not just a game, it's a lifestyle. And I had a chance to sit down with Zach and some of his family members to learn about their rich history on the gridiron. Describe what football means to the Ahern family.
Probably when all the kids could, before they could walk, they were probably crawling on a football field. So we have pictures of when they were that little. So.
Football means family. It's something that has always drawn the Ahern family together. It means a lot of hard work, dedication. It means a lot of sacrifice. I think those are all qualities that Zach does portray. A lot of those come natural, and a lot of them come from having Mike as a dad and having Jim as a grandpa.
Grandpa, he was coaching for over 50 years. He started at Ithaca. My dad grew up there, played there. Then he went to Grand Valley. And then my grandpa coached at Lansing Catholic. They went to the Ford Field multiple times. They won one 2 years ago. My dad's been there along the way, helped my grandpa call plays in the box. And I mean, we're a football family, so we all support each other.
Did you have any other choice than to play football?
Not really, but a good thing we all love it. So I mean, it makes it special to like have that bond with everyone in our family, even my mom. She knows more than most guys do at football, which is awesome to talk to her about too.
I love it. It's really a bonding time for our family, and it always has been. Since I've met Mike, his family was always doing football stuff together. We just kind of continued that on with our family.
What is life like in the Ahern family household?
Well, as kids, of course, we fought all the time. But I just want to say we got like really close like through middle school, and then quarantine we were super close. We'd hang out all the time.
Ryan, he's definitely my best friend. I mean, we do everything together. Him getting pulled up, I was way more excited than him even, I think. And just to like have him in the backfield with me it's awesome.
What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned from him?
How to be a great leader and just a good person overall. I mean, football is important, but character is way more important to me. So I mean, you just got to be a good person, and football will take care of itself.
What do you think makes this team so special and to be that team that takes you guys to Ford Field?
It's got to be Zach.
Throws, caught, touchdown! Dive, and he hits the pylon. It's a touchdown, Rockford. What a game, and what a player.
They go his way. Oh my goodness, what a catch.
Zach loves the game of football. He obviously is competing at a very high level. He's a neat kid. He was voted captain by his teammates. That's a very important deal. He's someone that worked very hard in the off season, just to prepare for this opportunity his senior year, and he's making the most of it.
Here we go. And over the last year, he was always working out in his basement, and I thought he was the biggest kid. I mean, there's no way I could compete with him, and definitely rubs off a lot because, you know, you see him, he's making plays happen you've never seen in high school football, let alone college football. He's just running the ball everywhere, and that gets you hyped up, and it definitely makes you feel like maybe I can do something like that too.
His work ethic over quarantine was just insane. He'd work out 2 to 3 times a day. There was never a day where he wouldn't be doing something. Like here at the field, like people can see him work like with everybody. What they don't know is he'll go home and do another workout just to try and be the best that he can be.
They'd go to football workouts in the morning, then they'd get in the car after an hour and a half football workout and go, you know, do a power strength workout after that. Football's one of those games that if you play hard, you can be successful no matter what position that you're in, and then just work hard, have a good attitude, and be a good teammate.
How much would it mean to you to be able to take this team to the championship game?
That's the ultimate goal for sure, so that would be awesome. That's what we all want, and I think we're definitely capable of doing that.
Yeah, Zach talks about the influence his dad has had on his football career, but also his grandfather, Jim. Now that he is retired, he tries to go to as many games as he possibly can. And Zach said you best believe he's the first person to give him some feedback. Sometimes it's the bad stuff first, but he appreciates all the advice he gives him and how much he's helped him with his game. And clearly, it's paying off because Zach was showing some confidence early on in this game with a rushing touchdown, putting the Rams on the board first. Big first half for the Rams. Much more to come from Rockford when we come back. We've got an exciting slate of games on the calendar for Football Fridays this October. Let's take a look. Friday, October 15th, Exesville, Garber at Frankenmuth. October 22nd, Southfield A&T at River Rouge. And then on October 29th, we have the first round of playoffs, week 1. That should be an exciting weekend here in Michigan. Now, all of those games kick off at 7 p.m. on Bally Sports and the Bally Sports app. It's still halftime here at Rockford. The Rams lead 10-7. Much more when we come back. Stick around. Puck drop from Little Caesars Arena is less than a week away. Join us Thursday, October 14th for the Red Wings season opener as they host the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Tampa Bay Lightning. A special 1-hour edition of Red Wings Live begins at 6:30 p.m., followed by puck drop on the 2021-22 season. Join Thursday night on your home for Red Wings hockey, Bally Sports. It's still halftime. The Rams lead 10-7 here at Rockford. But hey, we have an exciting second half coming your way. More from Evan and Justin when we return.
Football Fridays on Bally Sports are brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family, it's not just the name of our company, but the way we do business. And by Figer Law. Nobody knows the law like we do. Figer Law. Justin, you and I miss pep rallies like this on Fridays. We were playing in the games, but we would be there watching all of our classmates and friends, and this is the stuff that makes high school football so great, although we still have no idea what this game was.
But everything in Rockford is first class, and they look like they have a lot of fun here. Great community, but yeah, this definitely looks dangerous.
I think they're taking stickers off. Who knows? Brooke Fletcher is down on the sideline standing by with Caledonia's head coach, Derek Pennington.
Coach, what was the message to your team at the half?
Well, I mean, you know, we made some mistakes. We got to execute on offense. We're not finishing drives. We got one in there at the end. We got to play more consistently offensively. Defensively, I thought we rallied to the ball and did some things pretty well. They had a short field on us. We forced a couple field goal attempts. So, you know, it's a game. It's 10-7, but we got to make plays.
Well, with that pick before the half, it surely created some momentum for you guys. How can you kind of build off of that in the second half?
I mean, we got the last score. I think our kids, I think we have a little momentum right now. We got to put one in right here with this first drive. We got to have a clean drive. We've had some things happen that don't happen for us, where we had bad snaps. We didn't make a block on a screen play. Like, we got to execute what we do and do what we do.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Evan, back to you.
Brooke, thank you very much. Jarek Pennington's offense is going to get the ball to start the second half. A second half that will decide the OK Red Conference Championship. Everybody take a breath. Second half on the way. When you're playing for an OK Red Conference Championship, you want a ball game like this. Rockford 10, Caledonia 7 on a Friday night on the west side of Michigan. Let's get a look at the first half highlights. Justin, as we expected and we suspected, Zach Ahern scored the first touchdown of the game. But Caledonia's done a pretty good job bottling him up in the first half.
Yeah, no doubt. You're getting some of the D-line getting a good push. Obviously, special teams has played a big part of this first half. And look, Caledonia has to get their run game going, and they also have to be able to get more time of possession. That's going to catch up to them, and I expect Mason McKenzie, Brock Townsend, and that offensive line to really get it going.
McKenzie and Townsend connected on the only touchdown of the first half for Caledonia, who is getting the ball to start the second half. You alluded to time of possession. I mean, Caledonia's just got to hang on to the ball. Rockford, they lived with the football in that first half.
Yeah, and you can see we talked about in the beginning of the game, special teams, penalties, and turnovers. And right now, Rockford, not normal here for them to have 7 penalties for 65 yards.
And a couple of penalties on their coaching staff in the first half. Brent Cummings, when he talked to Brooke going into half, said we've got to address that. Holder sends it away. And Townsend lets it roll into the end zone for a touchback. Justin, if you're calling the plays for Caledonia to start the second half, what do you call them?
I'm going to go back to establishing the run. The big boys up front started leaning on that defensive line. You started to see some holes open up, and Brock Townsend to start getting downhill with that big frame. I would start establishing that, and you have to get the ball back into Mason McKenzie's hand. He's been a playmaker for you, had tremendous stats last game. You need to start getting him rolling so that they pick up some confidence on offense.
McKenzie did a little bit of everything last week at West Ottawa. 8 of 9 passing, 3 touchdowns, 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what we call a decent day of work. McKenzie pitching to Townsend. They run it on the outside, and a good gainer for Brock, setting up a second down short.
Yeah, this is a great play with an option. You have 2 of the best athletes go to either one. They have to obviously respect Mason McKenzie, and they get the ball outside and a good first down gain.
And right away, pitching it out to Townsend. A lot of gaping holes for Brock up the middle in that first half. Starting the second half, they go outside. Townsend again, up the middle. And Rockford does a very good job bottling up that play. It's going to be third down. Brock Townsend entered today with 83 carries on the season, 6 touchdowns. He was a man possessed against Grand Haven a couple of weeks ago. Brock had 19 carries for 221 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
This is one of those plays that you look back on after the game, and whoever wins and whoever loses looks at it in a different way. This is a winning play early in the second half.
Have to rise to the occasion.
McKenzie keeps. Mason spinning, dragging tacklers, and he should have the first down. Mason McKenzie with a little magic on third down.
I'll tell you, you watch this kid and the film on him, and he's always making something happen. It may not always look pretty, but he breaks a tackle, and he gets done what he has to get done, and he moves the sticks.
I mean, right here, that play is dead to rights, and he spins out of a tackle. And a bit of a crafty play. While he was spinning into the tackle, he leans forward for a few extra inches.
He is a savvy football player.
A dual threat star himself. Give to Townsend. That was a late give on the read, and Brock only gains a couple.
Yeah, it almost looked like Mason tried to pull that ball out, and it just didn't work out. And almost a disastrous play in their own territory.
That's the confidence you got to have between a quarterback and a running back running the read. When you run it well, it's a work of art. When you don't, it can lead to some interesting situations on that field.
Second down and 8 for the Scots from the 33.
Caledonia being patient, Justin, on their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, watch something creative here. We get a boot pass.
McKenzie, that ball may have been a fumble. Do they whistle the play dead? They finally do. Ball slipped out of Mason McKenzie's hands, and a tough break for Caledonia.
Yeah, number 99, Jack Lamakusa, with a big hit on Mason McKenzie.
Yeah, Jack Lamakusa says hello on this play.
Yeah, and they simply just didn't get a chip on him. You saw Big 77 try to get a right arm on him, and he came free and just laid the wood on Mason McKenzie.
You know, Mason put on some pounds in the offseason. After a hit like that, it's going to put on a few more. Caledonia trying to establish the run on this drive. This is not a running scenario. It's third down and long.
Man, Evan, this place is rocking.
Over 10,000 fans in full throat. McKenzie's pass tipped and incomplete. Colby Weston got a hand to it, and Caledonia forced to punt.
Jack Lamakusa again making a big play on this series. Caledonia coming out in the second half trying to make plays.
Lamakusa put his hands up initially, and then Colby Weston tipped it away. Mason McKenzie trying to thread the needle, he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and I still give some credit. Jason Lamakusa made that ball be thrown high, and his teammate gets in there and gets a hand on it.
Russo's punt takes an extremely good bounce for Caledonia, and this punt will be down inside the 25-yard line. Our Football Fridays have taken us across the state of Michigan. We are in Rockford this week. Next week, we are going up to Frankenmuth, Essexville Garber at Frankenmuth. It's chicken dinners for everybody next week. Frankenmuth, who made the state title game last year in the midst of another outstanding season, and Essexville Garber has some outstanding talent themselves.
Yeah.
It's coming up next Friday at 7 on Bally Sports Detroit Plus. That'll be a great one to watch. Tonight has been hard-hitting, a physical ball game. Caledonia has matched Rockford punch for punch. Their defensive line is not yielding an inch.
Going back to Caledonia almost having a disaster zone read play. You come back here and Ben Norris blows up this play on the jet sweep. I don't know if Zach Ahern meant to pull that ball out. I think he was making a play here, seeing that Ben Norris was in there so quick.
There are certain plays to play a read option. That is one way. Just completely destroy the play before it could even start. Second down long. Ahern down the middle. Beautiful looking throw. And it's caught for a first down. Vanden Houdt has had a couple of nice catches today. This is a sorely needed pass completion for Rockford.
Yeah, good throw, right on the line, quick, get it out on a slant. Rockford's able to move the sticks and get another first down.
It's also the first time we've seen anyone slip on this turf tonight. Remember, we had a lot of rain before the game. Ahern running option left, pitches to his brother, and Ryan pushed backward. Every single time a Caledonia Fighting Scot brings a runner down, there's like 4 of them who are bringing the runner down.
And that's how you play defense. You run to the football. You have 11 guys trying to get to the ball, making sure that good things happen when you get to the football. All 11 hats, and I know that's what they preach over there. Anthony Adams, Whitney Bell, doing a great job of keeping them contained.
Ahern keeping, running right. Got the first down. There's a flag behind the play.
May have a holding call.
Again, penalties are just killing Rockford tonight.
10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
I believe that's 8 at last count. Brett Cummings, if he had any hair left, it'd be falling out.
Approaching 100 yards in penalties. I know they're not happy about that.
That's what he said to Brooke at halftime. We just got to clean up plays like this.
Yeah, you see the pulling guard, number 52, and he gets a lot of jersey. Allows Zach Ahern to get outside. It's a good call.
That was on Ben Gira, 52. He's also a diver on the swim team. How many 6'2" divers do you see?
And we got a D lineman punting for Caledonia.
A little bit of everything on a football Friday. Ahern taking a deep shot, and that pass is incomplete. Vandenhout and Vanderweel were in the vicinity, and a third down and forever is coming up.
I'll tell you, Caledonia's doing a really good job in the defensive backfield. You got Aiden Kowich, very smart leader back there, 4.6 grade point average, leading the charge, and they're really keeping things in front of them, and that's what their game plan was. Keep them in front of them, don't let them take the top off the defense, and manage this game, and they've done a really, really good job on defense. I'm impressed with Caledonia, how they run to the football, how they've been able to keep everything in front of them, and starting to frustrate Rockford a little bit.
Got to keep it in front of them here. It's third down and a mile. Ahern with time, throwing deep down the far sideline, and he missed Broman.
And I think he had number 3 on the right up the seam. Nobody was on him.
I think that's a deal, Justin, before the play where Ahern is thinking, I'm throwing to one guy and one guy only. But that's something you have to fight because you really never know how a play's going to unfold.
Yeah, no doubt. And sometimes you can't blame him. You got Tyler Roman out there that can run fast as a cheetah. So he went right up to him and just got a little far outside. Good job as a defensive back getting in phase. What getting in phase is just squeezing that sideline, using your body, and he was able to force a bad throw.
Ahern booms the punt. Jimmy Floyd lets it bounce. And Caledonia will start inside their 20. The battle for the OK Red Championship is as advertised. This is a heavyweight bout on the west side of Michigan on a Football Friday on Bally Sports.
Welcome back. The Rams lead 10-7 here in the third quarter. Rockford High School has one of the best weight room facilities in the state of Michigan. There's the guy that runs it right there, Coach Cummings. And listen, this weight room is so impressive that other high schools and colleges are taking tours of it. But not only is the equipment impressive, the program is as well, which, like I said, is led by Coach Cummings, who is the strength and conditioning coach at Rockford. Now, since he took over, he's really just advanced the program to show you how much action this weight room is getting. From 5:20 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, this weight room is seeing athletes every single hour, not just football players, but athletes from all of the 40 sports programs they have here at the school. Now listen, many praise him for not only how good of a football coach he is, but just for also how well versed he is in the weight room, you guys.
Yeah, Brooke, Brett Cummings actually teaches a class here at Rockford on strength and conditioning, a beloved figure around Rockford, and that record makes everybody smile. Mason McKenzie keeps. Mason dancing for a first down. Mason McKenzie across the 40, and Caledonia's moving on this drive.
Man, this kid's exciting to watch. He just makes it happen. Get the zone read. Great job up front.
This is running the read to perfection.
Yeah, and you got the big boys up front moving people. Number 70 getting his hands on. Lineman getting to the second level. And Mason McKenzie just making plays. That's what he does.
One of the finer quarterbacks in the state is at it again. Mason McKenzie in a foot race. Tackled inside the 5. Mason McKenzie, when the lights are shining brightest, is putting on a show. Catch your breath, my friend. He wants the student section to calm down for just a second. What a run!
Yeah, and you see the left point guard here, pulls up to the linebacker. Mason McKenzie breaks the tackle, and he's off to the races. This young man is making some great plays tonight.
Staring down one of the best teams in the state of Michigan. Mason McKenzie not going to get in that time. Here's another look at the huge run that gets him down here.
And you got to respect Brock Townsend on the outside. You see Lamakusa follow him. Breaks the tackle, gets a great block from the big lineman out front, and he's off to the races out like the lights. Huge play for Caledonia, and momentum is shifting.
Mason McKenzie last week ran for 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The Caledonia Fighting Scots mere inches away from their first lead of the night.
Evan, do they go back to that well again?
McKenzie throws, end zone, touchdown! Justice Reed! The Fighting Scots are on top. What a drive. Right to you.
You get boot action by Mason McKenzie, gets the ball out quick, get a little stick route, and a fantastic catch by Justice Reed.
That is a 5'7", 145-pound slot receiver using every inch and pound to make the catch of the game so far. The Caledonia Fighting Scots are staring down one of the best teams in the state. They've got 14 unanswered, and they have got the lead. Mason McKenzie, the man can do it all. Holding down the right trigger and that turbo button to get him inside the 5, and then he caps it off with a touchdown to Justice Reed. We got a ball game in Rockford. The Caledonia Fighting Scots just went on the drive of their season to take the lead. Mason McKenzie gets him down there with the big run, and then Justin Cessante, he finds Justice Reed for a go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, and you're taught as a defensive back, do not give up the inside on the goal line. Absolutely do not give up the inside. Justice Reed drives the inside leverage, gets outside with a quick move, and he's right there with the speed out.
He's beating a senior, Camden White, who is an excellent defensive back. This is just better receiving from Justice Reed.
Yeah, and that ball has to be thrown perfect or it's broken up or incomplete.
Justice Reed makes the catch for his third touchdown of the year, his second in the last 2 weeks. The Caledonia Fighting Scots playing the third-ranked Rockford Rams, one of the power programs in this state. There has got to be 12,000 people here tonight at Carlson-Munger Stadium, one of the finer facilities in the Midwest. That Caledonia student section has been there in the entire night. And now they got a lead to cheer for. Smart play by Vroman, letting that ball roll out of bounds. An unforced error by Caledonia. A Rockford offense that doesn't need a lot of help, just got some help. All right, here comes the call.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking. First down.
We've been saying it all night. The OK Red Conference, one of the best conferences for high school football across the state of Michigan. Believe it or not, Caledonia, Justin, is the only Division II program in this conference. You better be a strong football team to play in this conference. There are some big boys in this conference.
Iron sharpens iron, and Caledonia is getting all of it this season, and they're going to be better for it in the playoffs.
Right now, all they're thinking about, can we knock off one of the best teams in the state on their homecoming night on the road? Backer Hearn, what do you have for us? He gives to his brother Ryan, and once again, Ben Norris blows the play up. How can you not be impressed by Ben Norris?
Yeah, Ben Norris is one of those guys that jump off. He has a burning desire and intensity to make plays. You see right here again, he's got a nose for the ball. And we've been calling his name a lot tonight.
He has 7 tackles for loss this season. A few more tonight. Give on the left side, and a lot of room for Rockford. First down and more. Mac Vandenhout pushing and dragging tacklers inside the 45.
Yeah, he got the jet sweep, and they've done a good job all night containing that. They get outside, several bad angles, missed tackles, and Rockford's out for the races.
Nice block by Elliott Young, number 19, the senior, helping to set up that run. Ahern throwing back to Vandenhout, who lost the football and has to fall on it. That is a drive killer.
That could have been devastating. Lucky they got that ball back. Quick pass, throws the stop pass to the boundary. Just not a lot of room to work.
What do you know? Ben Norris knocked it out. The guy's all over the field.
Who would figure?
I mean, he's one of the players that you watch on film and you go, who's that guy? Well, you keep seeing him tonight. Straight drop for Zach Ahern, hoping to make magic all by his lonesome. He has got a long ways to go. Caledonia loves that. Third down and long is on the way for Rockford. You know, Justin, I think a lot of people around the state of Michigan probably wondering, how did Caledonia go from what they were the last few years to a 6-0 team that now is on the verge of beating Rockford on the road? Look at that improvement on defense. That is the story for the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, their culture's changed in that program. Coach Pennington coming over, and you can see the impact that the coaching staff has had. Whitney Bell's been there for a long time.
See what he dials up on third down, 11. Ahern, the quarterback, shifts out. Vandenhout looking his way. Zach Ahern, incomplete. He was open, but Vandenhout, the backup quarterback, the normal wide receiver, threw it behind Zach Ahern. What a time to call that play.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery. They get creative, put their best athlete. Can definitely see that there was a little bit of confusion with Zach motioning out. They didn't really know what was going on, and I can guarantee they did not expect a passing play to him.
I think Zach's going to throw it on this play, unless he pooch punts. They have him punt, and not a very good one. Off the side of his foot, and the Caledonia Fighting Scots have all the momentum in the world on a sideline that's going nuts. So now, Justin, for the first time really tonight, Rockford is feeling a ton of game pressure. Remember, Caledonia was down 10-0. Now they all have all the confidence in the world, and this big crowd is uneasy. Rockford's got to get a stop.
Yeah, Rockford's body language changing a little bit, but they are battle tested. You don't count a team out like this. They have the athletes to change this game around. Mason McKenzie really could make this game interesting right here if he drives his Caledonia offense down the field and scores.
Could be the final drive of the third quarter. Mason McKenzie back to work. Give. Brock Townsend trying to stretch it right side, and he gains a couple. Caledonia staying consistent, staying committed to the run, hoping to churn down the field another drive that really could put Rockford behind the 8 ball.
And Caledonia's having more success between the tackles. Rockford's going to be a very difficult defense to move the ball on the outside. They have a lot of quick, fast athletes, even on the defensive line. So you're going to see Caledonia come back here to their bread and butter.
Right back to Townsend. And this play stuffed. Maybe a yard. Third down coming. Luke Vanderweel, the 6'2 senior, one of their leading tacklers, stopped this play in its tracks.
Yeah, and he just fouls right down the line, reads the play, and gets to the legs of the running back, Brock Townsend.
Brock has some low leg drive. You got to get your pad level down to tackle that guy. And that's exactly what Luke Vanderweel did. This is what we live for. Huge crowds on Friday nights in pivotal third downs.
Watch boot left.
They're setting up the middle screen, and Pennington stops short. That was a middle tight end screen.
Number
you were
45.
calling for the boot, Justin. I kind of like that idea. There was room for Caledonia on the left side.
Yeah, 45 makes a great play here. You got that real wide splits between the center and guards. You usually get a boot from Caledonia or you get the screen. Haven't seen them screen too much in their own territory, more down in the red zone in previous games. But number 45, Rick Bison, making a great play, 6'1", 195 junior, 35 tackles on the season, leads the team. Also 2 sacks, and you can see how he's all over the field with the nose for the ball.
Russo to punt again. Good punt for Braden. Watts on the return. Watts making a man miss. Into Caledonia territory. It takes a few Fighting Scots to bring Sam Watts down. All right, Justin, here we go. Half a minute to go, third quarter. Rockford's D gets that stop. Now they've got the ball in plus territory. Zach Ahern on a huge stage of Football Friday across the state. Chance to shine right here and now and give his team the lead back.
Yeah, I think the key is try not to do too much, right? This game's coming to you. You're in a good position to get this ball back to the end zone.
Zach keeping right, bouncing outside. A little bit of real estate. Ahern brought down as he crosses the 40-yard line. It's a good gain on first down. It keeps Rockford ahead of the chains.
Yeah, and time and possession. Two-way starters on the D-line. Starting to get a little tired there. Making them run sideline to sideline.
Let's see if Rockford snaps it one more time. In a third quarter that has seen the game tilt in Caledonia's direction. That is the end of the quarter. The OK Red Conference Championship on the line tonight. This game has lived up to the billing. Each team going punch for punch. It's Ollie against Fraser. Who wins? Caledonia up 14-10 as we go to the fourth. This is what makes Football Friday special across the state of Michigan. We had a nearly 2-hour weather delay. Everybody is still here. And why would you not be? The OK Red Conference Championship on the line. What a bowl game we have as we go to the fourth. Here's our upcoming games. Next week we'll be in Frankenmuth as Essexville Garber goes to Frankenmuth. Then a couple of weeks, you get a chance to see the River Rouge Panthers against Southfield A&T. A lot of talent will be on the field in a couple of weeks. And then the playoffs start on October 29th. It's just been such a treat for our entire crew at Bally Sports to travel across the state and see games like this all fall. We cannot wait to take you all the way until the state finals Thanksgiving weekend. Ahern, a lot of time, floating another deep ball that's incomplete. They just can't connect on any of those shots tonight, Justin. They just tried to hit Leo Vanderweel on that last try.
Yeah, and you almost look at it and say, take that bubble. They do the same thing, fake the bubble, go to the goal route, and they just aren't hitting it.
Does Ahern look tentative to you tonight?
I don't know if they look tentative. I think Caledonia's doing a really good job of keeping things in front of them, and they did some really good film study. Doing a real good job on the back end. I think he's getting frustrated.
That Caledonia D-line has been surging all night. Ahern! Oh, how do you escape that? Ahern is still alive. And Zach wrangled down, shy of the first down. Still, though, this is a Houdini act to get away from the first hit.
Zach Ahern here going to the left immediately. Defensive end makes a really good play. Can't wrap him up. And Houdini is right. Escapes, makes something out of nothing.
Biggest play of the game. 4th down, 2. Ahern running all the way. Zach lowers his shoulder. He's awfully close to the 1st down. Caledonia thinks they've stopped him. They have marked Ahern short.
They may measure this.
Live, it looked like Zach was a lot closer than where they originally spotted him. Caledonia thinks for sure they've stopped him.
Yeah, you have the QB power pull here. You get the guard pulling up. Had a pretty clear path. Zach fouled the big man right through the hole. And initially, it looked like he got it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. We're going to come out and measure this. Caledonia's first reaction was they stopped Zach Ahern short.
Man, Evan, these kids are playing hard on both sides of the ball. What an entertaining football game. 2 great communities coming together for a fantastic night of Friday Night Lights football.
They stopped him short. The Caledonia Fighting Scots. The play of the season. Let's watch this closely, Justin. How close did Zach Ahern get?
Well, you get this guard pull. He misses that linebacker that shoots, and that's really the play, number 4.
Now that's Luke Monsager, Justin, who makes the play. Let's get one more look.
And Anthony Adams loves this kid. Big personality, keeps the team loose, but he said he is relentless, and he gets downhill and makes the play of the day on defense for Caledonia.
McKenzie to Brock Townsend. Running right, leaning forward and gaining a few. I'd have to think, Justin, the focus right now for Caledonia, yeah, we want points. But yeah, we got to take some time off this clock too.
You know, as the game evolved in the game of football, everybody wants to spread it out, throw it, make things look pretty, but they're going back to the well and what's been working for them. 3 yards and a cloud of dust is not a bad option either.
And you know what's so impressive? They never deviated from the game plan. Even when they were down 10-0 early, no rattle. Always focused. Stayed with the plan all night, and look what's happening. McKenzie slipped a little bit, and that doomed the play. 3rd down on the way. The Caledonia Fighting Scots, coming in at 6-0, are making a statement in Rockford tonight. Yes, there are some good teams in front of them. De La Salle, Livonia Churchill are forces to be reckoned with, Justin. But if Caledonia can close this out, they are making a statement to the entire state of Michigan. Pay attention to us.
Yeah, in the past history of this game, this has been David versus Goliath, and Rockford's a phenomenal program and team. Caledonia is really giving them everything they can handle, and we're watching a great football game.
McKenzie all by his lonesome. Roll to the right on 3rd down. The pass is incomplete. It hit the ground. Evan Graham went to the turf, but could not make the catch, and that is a missed opportunity for Caledonia.
Evan, first appearance, it looked like that ball might have been caught. And we'll see here on the replay. Yeah, he trapped it.
That's a very good call by our officiating crew. Look, sometimes we give them a little grief. We always have to give the officiating crew their kudos when they're right. They were right on one of the bigger calls of the game.
No doubt about it. You love to see it, and kudos to Rockford's defense. They responded with 3 and out.
Russo sends the punt away. Watts fields inside the 30. Sam Watts running left, and he's tackled beautifully in the open field. That is an excellent tackle in the open field, stopping the return before it could get started.
Number 27.
We are coming down the wire on a Football Fridays on Bally Sports. Don't change that channel. We are coming down the wire on a Football Fridays on the west side of Michigan. At Rockford High School, the Rams have the ball down by 4. Justin, let's get a look at some of the scores around our great state tonight. Fordson hangs on and beats Churchill. They were up early in that game. That's a huge win for the Tractors against a darn good Churchill team.
Yeah, Fordson lost to Belleville. Churchill beat Belleville. And you see Fordson get a big win there tonight.
We saw Muskegon earlier this year on our Football Fridays. They lost to Cass Tech. That's a big win for them tonight against the Sailors from Mona Shores. 21-0. Detroit Catholic Central beats Orchard Lake St. Mary's at the Elm tonight in Novi. And points were at a premium in this one. Romeo takes down Sterling Heights Stevenson 7-0.
Wow, what a surprising score, 7-0.
And a preview for next week on Football Fridays. Frankenmuth stays undefeated. They take down Alma 22-7. And Essexville Garber going into next week with some wind at their sails as well. 37-0. They beat John Glenn. Ahern giving to Vanderweel. That play strung out pretty well. And Caledonia limits the damage. Aiden Kowach, nice play flying to the football.
And you see Rockford really making the Caledonia defense run sideline to sideline right now. That wears down the defense at the end of the day.
Aiden Kowach also plays baseball. And hearing the ultimate compliment from his head coach, Derek Pennington, he's the type of kid you'd want your daughter to date. Throwing it out. Vandenhout got it caught for a first down, and Rockford's into Caledonia territory. A patient, methodical start to the biggest drive of the season for Rockford. Zach Ahern, one of the better quarterbacks in the state, has been held in check tonight. He keeps and gains little. Once again, the middle of the Caledonia defensive line is just sucking up space.
Yeah, and they're trying to keep them honest by continuing to run between those tackles and guards. And you have to also realize Rockford's starting to pick up the pace of the offense a little bit. They're trying to wear them out. Probably going to try to go back outside here.
Coming up on 8.5 to go in one whale of a football game. It is our absolute pleasure to be here tonight. Took us about 2 hours to start the game. Mother Nature didn't want us to start on time. Ahern giving. Vandenhout tackled across the 45. Pretty good gain for Rockford, Justin, setting up another huge third down.
And as we just discussed, pushed it back outside after trying to keep him honest in the middle. Expect something here, maybe a screen, getting back to that bubble that was working for him earlier. We're working out of the seam there, and the number 3 receiver here at the bottom.
Ahern takes the shotgun snap. Zach down the middle. That pass incomplete. Kowach again.
Watch Aiden Kowach on this play. You can see the 4.6 grade point intelligence. He was carrying outside. He had nothing but grass. He looked for work, and he drove on the football, got a hand in, and made just an immense play there to really create a huge fourth down.
Ahern, pooch punts. One, once again, not ideal. That's the second time, Justin, that they've had Zach Ahern start of the gun, go back on a pooch punt, and they really haven't gained much field position off that play.
Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate. Twice it came off the side of his foot, just got out of bounds a little quicker than he anticipated, because he's got a great roll on that ball. It's turning over on that pooch punt.
Huge reason why Caledonia's D's off the field. Great play by Aiden Kowach, and Brooke has more on Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden is really proving himself on the field, but you guys might not know he's actually quite the scholar as well. He has a 4.6 GPA and also finds time before school to tutor kids as well. Coach has just praised him on his sharpness and how dependable he is as a player. So he just describes him as an all-around kid. And Evan, I think you alluded to it earlier, just the type of kid you want your daughter to date, but just seems like a great kid.
Timeout called by Rockford. Brooke, thank you. I don't know if type of kid you'd want your daughter to date. I don't know if somebody would want to say that about me, but it is a nice compliment. You know what I mean?
It is the best compliment. I have 2 daughters. I don't want them to ever date anybody, but, you know, Aiden Colwich, I didn't know you could get a 4.6. That's amazing. Student athlete, and that shows a tremendous role model for this community in Caledonia. Obviously, student becomes before athlete, and he's leading by example.
You know, I'm curious that Rockford called a timeout. They probably could use one of those timeouts in their back pocket, trailing in the game down the stretch. The Caledonia Fighting Scots, Justin, have one of those drives where you can win the ball game. One of those drives, it's the reason why you work out so long in the summertime.
And I'm looking for them to go back to Justice Reed. He's made some big plays. He's gotten himself open. Oh, what a huge hit.
Did Rockford pick up the football?
Oh, my
They
God.
sure did! Oh, my word! What a turn! Andrew Griffin came up with the football.
And Andrew Griffin's going to get more play time because we got number 4, Big CMU Connect, commit out of the game. And look at this play. Just took the ball right out of his hands.
Justin, he is playing this week because Cade Costas, their Central Michigan star commit, he's injured and out. Andrew steps into the limelight and makes the play of the game defensively for Rockford.
In a world that so many people leave schools and transfer because they're not getting what they want, he waits his turn. I mean, he gets a lot of tick during the season, but he makes the play of the season right there, turn things around for Rockford.
And Caledonia on the other side makes a great defensive play. That's Caleb Parlberg, the 6'2 senior, blowing it up.
I mean, as a football fan, Evan, this has had it all.
Yeah.
And you might say and look at a 14-10 game, but defense wins championships, and there's been a lot of that tonight. 2 wonderful defenses, running to the football, making plays, well-coached, savvy. We're really seeing it all tonight.
This is one of those games where you wish both teams could win. Ahern throwing the bubble screen. Vandenhout has it caught with another flag.
Yeah, we're going to get a holding call here.
Ahern's pass is complete to Vandenhout and the flag on the play.
Rockford has just been bit in the backside.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
And that's one of the hardest blocks to make in football. You have a one-on-one matchup in space with the wide receiver, and everybody's going to see it. You're on an island. If you get some cloth, you're going to get called.
That is the 8th penalty on Rockford tonight. 75 yards in a game where you could really use those yards.
Yeah, and that's very out of character for the Rockford Rams over the last couple of decades.
Caledonia's had a couple of penalties as well. Not even close to being as costly as Rockford's tonight. Brent Cummings knew that he would have to clean up those penalties if he wanted to win.
Watch the play clock here.
They get it off in time. Ahern rolling to his left. Unable to escape pressure.
Guess
Ben
who?
Norris. This
Guess
kid's
who?
all over the place.
Yeah, Zach gets out of the pocket pretty quick here. And you see Ben Norris just get enough cloth to slow him down and let the rest of the cavalry get there.
Ahern right now in a game where his team has just scored 10 points, you can sense he's trying to make something happen, but Caledonia at every single turn is ready for him. Zach Ahern on 3rd down and long. Rolling right with time to throw. Looking end zone, and it's caught! Mac Vandenhout for the lead!
Oh my goodness!
That is your senior quarterback making a play. Vanden Hout's second touchdown of the season, and Brett Cummings can breathe for just a second.
You see Zach, we just talked about, he got it out of the pocket quick the last play. He sits in, rolls out, creates a new pocket, and finds the open man sitting down in the back of the end zone. And Rockford goes up 17-14.
Burkholder tacks on a pivotal extra point. These are the ball games that just makes you go crazy. What a ball game this is. The Rockford Rams back on top. Ahern to Vanden Hout. We have got quite the finish coming up. This has not been a perfect night for Zach Ahern and the Rockford offense, but when they needed a play, Justin Cessante, they got a play from their senior star quarterback.
Yeah, he's the heart of this offense. He's been getting out of the pocket pretty quick, using his legs. He sits, extends the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, goes through his progressions. Does a phenomenal job here, just keeping his eyes downfield. Knows he needs to use his arm.
The touch on this throw, just getting it over the outstretched arms of Kowach. Watch it again, number 2.
Yeah, and they were in zone defense there, and they just sat down in the empty space. And huge play for Rockford, gets them back on top. Zach Ahern, as good as advertised.
So the Rockford Rams, after Caledonia scores 14 unanswered, take the lead back. And now their defense has to rise one more time. Jackson Burkholder to kick it deep. Brock Townsend to receive. And Brock won't even risk a return. So Zach Ahern, one of the finer quarterbacks in the state, just engineered a winning drive. Mason McKenzie, how about a winning drive from you, my friend?
Yeah, they've been going punch for punch, match for match. We anticipated this great matchup of quarterbacks, putting the team on their back, willing their way to victory. And this game has been everything we expected it to be and more.
This drive, Bernard's big money moments. Mason McKenzie earlier in the second half marched the team down the field. Had a big run to get him inside the 5, and then a touchdown pass to Justice Reed to give him the lead. He's got a chance to do it again. McKenzie brought down to the backfield.
Guess who?
Andrew Griffin again. What a monster down the stretch.
Andrew Griffin here just beats his man inside, quick hands. Makes a big play, sack. Flexes on him.
Yeah, Andrew Griffin in the lineup tonight because Cade Costas, the star for Rockford, injured and out. Andrew's earning a lot more playing time.
Time starts getting to be a concern here for Caledonia.
That's a nice pass, and it's caught, but not for very much. And brought down in the open field. Down to Brooke we go for more on Andrew Griffin, whose star turn has come in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Evan, what a huge fourth quarter Andrew Griffin has had. Like you said, he has had to step in for Cade Costas here tonight. And Coach Cummings, before coming into this game, he said, listen, I'm going to need some other playmakers to really step up on this defense to make up for Cade's absence. And listen, that is exactly what this defense is doing here. I am on the sidelines. This crowd is going wild. They know that this game is not over, you guys. They're still in this ball game.
McKenzie with the crowd going nuts. He's short of the line to gain. That's a bit of a curious call on 3rd down and long. They do have all 3 timeouts left, but if Rockford gets a couple of first downs, the game's in their back pocket.
Yeah, they keep it in their playmaker's hand, and Rick Bison once again makes a big play. He's been all over the field, as well as Andrew Griffin tonight.
I mean, the effort for both of these teams. One of those ball games that just makes you smile if you're a football fan. One of those games that make Friday Night Lights so special.
Yeah, and in this series right here, you have to be really impressed with the tackling of Rockford. You had Austin Harvey make a great play on the outside. You had Rick Bison, Andrew Griffin. They're all chipping in. Everybody's flying to the football, and the intensity's turned up in this stadium right now.
The Rockford Rams have turned this game around over the last couple of minutes. It all started on this play. Caledonia has the ball. They're leading. They need a drive to win the game. Andrew Griffin literally takes the ball out of the hands of the Fighting Scots. And then a few moments later, Zach Ahern with a senior moment. Time to throw, and he finds a friend. Mac Vandenhout sitting down in the end zone. Our Menards big money moments have the Rockford Rams in position to escape. One of the best teams in the state of Michigan has taken the best punch from Caledonia, and they're still standing. How about this? Mason McKenzie is on the field on a 4th down and long deep in their own territory.
Yeah, I don't know about this call, but
they're pushing their chips to the table. It's 4th down and long. McKenzie down the middle, and it's caught!
Unbelievable.
Derek Pennington, a gambling man. He finds Nick Fox, and Caledonia has a pulse.
And I guess that's why I'm not coaching Caledonia. Great gutsy call.
What a throw by Mason McKenzie.
Look at the blocking and the composure. Not a lot of pressure there from the front. No blitzing. Sat back, try to keep everything in front of him, and Nick Fox makes a big play across the middle.
McKenzie with time again. Down the middle again. Reed makes the catch through contact, and Caledonia's in Rockford territory.
The tenacity of this Caledonia team and offense, just unbelievable. Most coaches would have punted that ball, try to get the ball back on timeouts, get a stop, but you know who you have on the other side. Really good coverage. Justice Reed has made some plays. He hasn't had tremendous stats this year, but we knew they were going to try to get him the ball, and they sure have this game. He's made some.
McKenzie stepping away from pressure. Mason McKenzie eludes a tackle and falls down across the 40, setting up a 2nd down short.
You get a timeout here if you're Rockford. You're kind of on skates right now, a couple big plays back to back. Do you settle down your defense?
I guess the only other thought would be, look, at some point we have to get the ball back. We may need those timeouts to go down the field.
No doubt about it. And you want that clock to keep ticking and talking.
Under 2 minutes to go in one of the games of the year in high school football in Michigan.
What a high school football game.
McKenzie rolling right.
Justice Reed opening up.
And McKenzie is brought down. Jack Lamancusa. That clock is ticking, and Caledonia doesn't call a timeout.
Got to look at situation right now. Obviously, you're in 4 downs with the score being 17-14. May look for a screen or a draw here.
Lamancusa has been all over the place. His 5th sack of the season. McKenzie on 3rd down. Down the middle. Incomplete. Too tall for Townsend.
Really good protection there from Caledonia. But we're flooded in the back end here with Rockford. They got a lot of defensive backs, a lot of coverage there, and it pays off in a big, big play.
McKenzie hoping to thread the needle, a bit too tall for Brock. All right, they just converted on a 4th down plus 10. Got to do it again to keep the game alive.
This is ball game. This place is rocking. OK Red is on the table.
Over 10,000 fans before the play of the season. We got a timeout for Rockford, making sure they're set and ready on the biggest play of their season.
I expected a timeout coming from Caledonia or Rockford. Either Caledonia to find the perfect play or Rockford to make sure their defense is set up. This is ball game. You want to make sure that you have everything, your T's crossed and your I's dotted.
All right, Derek Pennington, the head coach, also calls the plays for Caledonia. Earlier in this drive, they found Fox over the middle. They also found Justice Reed. What are you dialing up here to keep this game alive for Caledonia?
Yeah, I think I'm looking back to Justice Reed. He's been able to really exploit a couple of times in his matchups. Looking over across the middle, you've had some big holes there in that zone defense. You also have some really good protection and not a lot of pressure coming from Rockford. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Mason McKenzie tries to pull it down and take it himself with his legs.
Mason McKenzie, the 5'10 junior quarterback. His head coach, Derek Pennington, says he fits our system as well as anyone I've ever had. A big target for him today, Justice Reed. Touchdown earlier.
And listen to this Rockford crowd.
The play of the year for both of these programs. Mason McKenzie on 4th down, rolling away from pressure, throwing down the middle. It's incomplete.
Tyler Roman makes the play of the game.
Evan Graham couldn't make the catch, and the Rockford Rams are 49 seconds away from surviving.
Yeah, Mason really found a guy that was open, but the receiver didn't come back to the football. He really needed to stick his foot back, come back. You had a lot of guys in the back end there in the defensive secondary waiting for that jump ball. Tyler Roman comes in and makes a play, seal the victory.
Roman, known as a receiver. Tonight, he makes the play of the game as a DB.
Really a good throw from Mason McKenzie. He's rolling out, throws the ball against his body.
Graham, one of those plays where as a receiver, yeah, you're backpedaling, but the play is to come up on that ball. It allows Roman to come in, knock it away, and maybe ice the game.
Defensive backs are taught attack at the highest point as a receiver, and this it's a jump ball and have to go. Tyler Roman's a tall young man, so got there fast and made a play.
And look, now the deal for Rockford is Caledonia burns the second of the 3 timeouts they have left. You've just got to be so careful with your ball security right now. 2 hands on that football, high and tight, because you know Caledonia is going to be clawing away at that ball.
Yeah, don't do anything extra and be able to take a knee here soon.
If Rockford hangs on and wins tonight, Dustin, what does it say not just about their program, but their team this season?
Yeah, I mean, the will to win. Look, great teams that make it to the state championships and caliber of this, you have to get lucky sometimes. You have to be tenacious. You have to have will, and you have to get through games like this. You have to be battle tested, and that's exactly what they've been, and they've responded to the call each and every time.
A couple more games coming for Rockford in the regular season. Home against West Ottawa next week, to Grand Haven in a couple of weeks. Grand Haven is always a stern task. That student section, God bless them, they've been here through the rain, they've been here through the lightning, and they're 41 and change away from celebrating one heck of a win. Ahern takes a knee. Caledonia calls time one more time.
At the 40-yard line, 3rd down.
You know, Justin, I said it earlier, and I still mean it. This is one of those games where you hate to see either team lose because of how hard they've battled. I think tonight, yeah, it says a lot about Rockford. This is a heck of a football program. It has been for 3 decades. It will be for 3 more decades. But tonight, in many ways, is an example of the resurgence of Caledonia and their excellent head coach, Derek Pennington. They came into the Beast's den. Rockford, maybe the best team in the state, and they took them literally down to the last seconds.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Pennington, he's not going to be happy with a moral victory, but it says it on his shirt, never daunted. And they're going to learn a lot from this loss, and they're going to go on and do great things. I expect a lot from Caledonia this year, and still have wide open for a run at the state championship.
Zach Ahern takes a knee, and the Rockford Rams, one of the best teams in the state of Michigan, just took a big old punch from the Caledonia Fighting Scots, and they had the knockout blow. Zach Ahern, remember that name. A touchdown late in the 4th quarter, and the Rockford Rams are still undefeated, and their path to Ford Field is still clear.
Two fantastic football communities coming together tonight, really putting the best of the best on display of high school football in Michigan. And I couldn't be more honored to call this game with you, Evan, today. What a tremendous football game. I mean, it had everything. Great defense, big plays on defense, offense, two superstars willing their way the whole time. What a tremendous game.
We said it, Justin, at the very beginning. You and I were just a couple of washed-up football players, man. This is one of those games. Before the game, we were on the field. We wanted to strap up our pads. Yeah, fire off some fireworks. That was one whale of a football game.
Both staffs should be really proud of their football teams, and both teams should come off this field tonight with their heads held high. They have the future and everything that they still want in front of them. And sometimes you got to learn from your losses, and Rockford's going to learn from this win as well.
They're home next week to wrap up their regular season home slate against West Ottawa. Caledonia goes home to play in front of, I'm sure, what will be an excellent crowd against Jenison next week. This is Friday Night Lights at its finest in the state of Michigan. Two awesome teams in an awesome venue in front of outstanding fan bases. Justin just said it. I echo everything he just said. It truly was an honor to cover this ball game tonight. Down to Brooke Fletcher we go. She is standing by with Andrew Griffin, the hero of this game.
Yeah, I'm here with the man of the hour. Andrew, this game was worth the wait. You came up huge at the end of this game with probably the play of the game. How much does this win mean to you and your team?
Okay, Red, man. We wanted to win this so bad. We came out here fighting. You know, they're a great team, but I think at the end we pulled it through, and I was really proud of our guys.
Listen, you had a tall task tonight because Coach asked you to step it up with Kate Costas being out. But listen, you rose to the occasion. You had a forced fumble, you had a sack, and the play of the game. I mean, what was clicking so well for you tonight?
Man, I just wanted to win. I just really wanted to win. I don't know, I just thank my teammates, my coaches, and the whole community. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you looking up to the crowd, probably saying hi to your family. Yeah, how proud are they of you, you think?
I think my dad's really happy with me, hopefully. But, I don't know, I'll have to go talk to him.
I'm sure he's proud. You had a pretty decent game, I'd say. All right, well, you guys are 7-0. I mean, how can you guys build off this momentum and what you guys were able to do here tonight?
Just work hard. Hard work.
All right, well, the offense was led by this guy right here, Zach Ahern. Zach, I mean, how proud are you of this guy right here rising to the occasion and doing what he did tonight?
I'm proud of him, extremely proud of him, and I'm really proud of everyone on our defense. They won us this game. Offense did not show up as well as we wanted to today, but the defense took care of it, and that's all that matters. That's why it's a team game.
Yeah, what was the mindset coming down the stretch here when Caledonia, I mean, they put some pressure on you guys. What was the mindset going into these final few minutes of the game?
I mean, we just had to score. I mean, we did what we had to do, and we put the game in our defensive hands, and they clamped up, so that was awesome to see, and then we took a knee and won the game. It was awesome.
I mean, the energy here tonight was insane. You guys had that hour and 45-minute lightning delay, but here you are, 7-0. I mean, how can you kind of build off of this moving forward?
I mean, an ugly win is better than an ugly loss, so we'll take that as much as we can get it, and I'm extremely proud of my whole team, and we all came today, and we all played a hell of a game, so it's awesome.
All right, we'll go celebrate with your team. Congratulations. Evan, I'll send it up to you.
Brooke, thank you. Zach Ahern, thank you. Rockford Rams and Caledonia Fighting Scots, thank you. That was one whale of a game on our Football Fridays and setting the table for a final couple weeks of the regular season that I cannot wait for. Tonight was awesome. Justin Cessante, what more can you say? That was a heck of a football game.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. High school football at its finest on display. Bally Sports Detroit, Rockford, Michigan, Caledonia community came out and they put on a show.
Just absolutely awesome. Thanks for having us tonight, Rockford. That was a whale of a game. That does it for our coverage from Carlson-Munger Stadium. Our final score, Rockford survives. They beat Caledonia 17-14 and capture the OK Red Conference Championship. Next week, we're going to Frankenmuth. Eagles hosting the Dukes of Essexville Garber. Kick at 7 from the move. For Brooke Fletcher, Justin Cessante, producer Brian Henry, I'm Evan Stockton saying so long from Rockford. Have a great rest of your Friday night.